Well, then, that was fun. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey. And that was a fucking stupid one, wasn't it? Foogie, thank you. Was it Foogie who said it? Yeah. Foogie, thank you so much. Dax, good morning.
Morning.
You missed it. You came in just as I unmuted myself as I'd been talking for a whole minute.
Oh, I was rushing to come yell at you, actually.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for that. God damn. Formerly Rodline. Yeah. Remember, guys, first 5 minutes, which, by the way, we're not counting that first minute. Reno, Warren, how you guys doing tonight? Uncle Sam, hey, Camel, Chaos. Yeah, laugh. I deserve it. Least professional monkey on the internet. I've said that before. Ebony. Kanan, did I say that right? Vincent Graymore. Reno says boomer monkey. No, it's not boomer. It's just that okay. Call me boomer if you have to. By the way, I'm Gen X. We're not dumb. We're lazy. Shrouded Angel. Chicago Mike. Hey, Vanilla Bear. How you doing, sweetie? Dax, what were you up to?
Oh, just watching some stuff on Hulu.
Gotcha. Hey there, Toast. Circus Zero. Monkey. I'm yelling that instead of Peter from now on. He started this shit. Peter. No, there you go. And Carrie, how you guys doing? Dax, if you had other things to do, you can go do them, of course. If you want to hang out, you're absolutely welcome to too. I can't believe I did that.
I had nothing better to do. Like I said, I was just watching Hulu.
Okay. Massive Dynamic, how you doing, man? Zombie, I'm going to change my name to what? Flibbert Gibbet?
Flibbity Gibbet.
Flibbity Gibbet. Okay. Uncle Sam, thank you. Really random thought. Beto needs to get a running mate with the last name starting with J so we can call them PB and J. Okay. St. Fugi says Dax, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Beto made a real big ass of himself with his man. Let's start with Beto. How about that?
Sounds good.
So Beto was asked about his really, really generous giving. So he's a very generous man, you guys. His wife and him are very, very wealthy people. And the year that he gave his taxes for, I think it was 2017, they gave a whopping $1,160 some to charity. And he was asked at a town hall meeting thing, one of his little rallies he's been doing. Why is it my sister, who works like a part-time job and doesn't make much money, gives a higher percentage of her income to charity than you do? And Dax, you'll not believe the balls on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
He actually said that one, not all of his charitable giving is accounted for in the taxes, that they itemize some of it and not all of it, which, okay, I could give him that one maybe. But the other thing he said is that he gives a lot of his time, including being here with you guys tonight instead of home with my family.
Ooh, that's charity now.
Running for president is charity, you guys. The balls on this guy. This rich motherfucker out there. Look. Me out here making these millions of dollars, getting all this attention and love. That's charity. I'm doing this for you. What a dick. How about, yeah, we're kind of stingy with our money because we're liberals. That's what we do. We want to spend everyone else's money, not our own. And people have been like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds right. Instead, no, this motherfucker actually said, look, I'm here giving my time right now. Not giving his time. He's not doing anything. It's not like he's building fucking houses. It's not like he's feeding the poor. No, this motherfucker's out there on the campaign trail greasing palms and getting money thrown at him. And yeah, I'm out here, not home with my family right now. That's what I'm doing. You're a dick.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like him before this, but that answer is like, Jesus fuck. So is this a charity stream? Look, you want to throw charity at me? That's fine. Yes, I'm here for you guys. Right now, I'm here with you, so I can't be with my family. Terry Diamandis, thank you. I'd give money to charity. She's a cam girl, right? Indeed, indeed. There's several. I'm sure there's several. Look, don't name your daughter Charity. She's either going to be a cam girl or a prostitute or a stripper.
Yep.
How's my morning going, RJ? It's okay for the moment. I'm very sore, man. We went shopping yesterday. Lady Monkey, I tried to change my schedule and it worked. So I was awake. So, during most of her day off. And she comes in really excited. You want to go to the store with me? I'm like, yes, actually, I do. I miss my wife, man.
Aw.
And so I was like, oh, sure. And we went out and we went and had lunch first. And she spoiled me for lunch. And they fucked up my food, but that's okay. It was still nice to be out with her. And then we went shopping at Walmart. And before we made it to the last stretch of our shopping, my leg was just like, we ain't doing it no more. So when we got home, I laid down and I took about like a 3-hour nap and I woke up and my whole body was like, I don't like you, Frank. I hate you. And I was like, you know what? I hate you back. Yes. Kind of sore. I just took all my medicines hoping it'll loosen everything back up. But yeah, I'll live. It was nice. I mean, it's worth the pain because I got to hang out with her. Yeah, Reno. It's pretty well known at this point what my first name is. Did you see the title of the stream, Dax?
Access inclusion, something or another.
Seeker is the last word.
Ooh.
Access inclusion seeker. This is in reference to a story we read tonight, which that may be the dumbest fucking euphemism I've ever heard. Dax, you know what an access inclusion seeker is?
It sounds like somebody trying to put their nose into something they don't belong in.
That's how it sounds. It sounds like the kid who wants to be part of the in crowd, that kind of thing. No, it's actually disabled people, cripples. Cripples. In Australia, they're trying to get rid of the word disabled. They're one of their Lord Mayor is what it's called. The title, Lord Mayor somebody or other, wants to get rid of the name disabled because it suggests people can't do some things. Yeah, they can't because they're disabled.
Yeah.
A deaf person can't hear no matter what you change the name of the condition to, you stupid motherfuckers.
It makes them feel better about themselves.
And now you're making it sound like they're desperately in need of somebody to pay attention to them. Please, I want to play too. I want to play too. They actually said that they hope and they think in the future the D word, disabled, will become as verboten as the N word.
That's entirely stupid. Dare I say retarded.
It is absolutely retarded. Don't be ableist, monkey shame. Hey, look, I'm a cripple. I can say all of this shit. And they can't do nothing to me because I'm a cripple too. Glad we don't hear you guys fart on stream. Well, that's stay away from the ghost poo, guys.
Yeah.
Hashtag retarded. Yeah, Cytotron. It retarded is actually something I can say too, because retarded is a disability. As a disabled man, I can say that. Terry Diamanda says, I still say the D word is digger. I get what you're saying there. You're Australian, so maybe you know better than me. But yeah, they got it in their heads that if they just change the names, man. If they just change the names, it changes what's actually wrong with people. And it doesn't. Like if you actually called them access inclusion seekers, that'll make a cripple be able to walk, you know. A guy with no legs suddenly will spring new ones and be able to run a marathon. You might not like it. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, it makes me laugh that they're just going to create a bunch of resentful people when you shove like the disabled like kid into the quarterback position in a high school football game.
Yeah, you know how fucked up he's going to be when he gets tackled?
Yeah.
You can't let the crippled kid play. It doesn't change anything.
Reality is reality. Whether you rename it doesn't change the fact that he has part of him that doesn't work.
Now, look, if there are things that disabled people can do, then by all means, yes, include them. But you can't get mad that the disabled person isn't allowed to pole vault. I bring that up because for some reason, women's pole vaulting ended up in my recommended.
Why?
I don't know, but I watched it, and I enjoyed quite a bit of it.
I'd imagine you thought pole vaulting meant something different.
No, I know what it is. And I actually watched it because of the thumbnail. The thumbnail is this chick who wiped out, and that's actually in there. She goes running, right? And she plants the pole, and just as it starts to lift her, her hands just kind of miss. And where you plant the pole, there's kind of like this little cutout area.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be.
There's a little notch you shove it into.
Fucking slamming right into it. I'm like, holy fuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
That poor
pole vaulting is jumping over Polish people, right? Yes. I hear that's how the Australians do it, Terry.
Well, I heard that's what the Germans did that in the 40s.
No, but what I really liked about it is that most of these women, I guess it helps them jump to do it in their underwear. And it's like, cool. Poppy says, not putting my phone in my bra anymore. Uh-oh, did you titty get angry at somebody and pop them again? She got them angry boobs.
I don't want her to put it somewhere else. It's entertaining when she accidentally bans people.
It is. Nuclear's Gypsy says George Carlin is laughing in his grave with the disabled thing. You know, I talked about that on Lords of the Night tonight. I was annoyed at all the name changing and stuff because I've never been good with change, and the idea that you had to, but when I heard George Carlin put it the way he did in his one special, he's the one that I first actually heard. Look, changing the name doesn't change it. You're just trying to make yourself feel good. You're not actually helping these people. He's the reason I do embrace the word cripple is, that's actually a word in the fucking Bible. Jesus healed the cripples.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus didn't heal the access inclusion seekers. I mean, maybe he did. He just didn't know what to call them. But yeah, Carlin is a saint. Carlin, man.
I miss Carlin.
The thing is, people can still listen to it. And most of the people I know who support this kind of stupid shit swear up and down they love George Carlin. Like, do you ever actually listen to him? It is amazing to me how many dyed-in-the-wool liberals swear they love George Carlin. I'm like, you didn't pay attention to fuck all he said, did you? Them's is just jokes when he's talking about how maybe if you call the conditions what they are, people would get the help they need instead of your patronizing ass telling them to go out there and run a marathon with no goddamn legs. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Access inclusion seeker. The fuck? What moron came up with that?
Some person thought it sounded cool.
Access inclusion seeker.
And you can say it as like eyes or ace. So either one. Except for then it's insulting to blind people if you say it as eyes.
Yeah, because they wish to be included in the seers.
But how can they seek anything unless they're talking about using their hands? And what if they have no hands and they're blind?
look, man, if you call them this, if you call blind people access inclusion seekers, they'll be able to see. Because remember, people with disabilities, they're not actually disabled in any way. They can do everything anyone else can.
See, Pop-Tart says she's half blind and she's not seeking shit.
Maybe if you were, you'd be fully sighted.
Embrace the movement, Poppy. Embrace it.
Embrace it. And then you can be an asshole. No, I mean, then you'll be able to see. Oh my God. It's just so bad. The world is getting so stupid, man.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think it was yesterday's show. We talked about the fat bitches who cry because cake is brought to work.
Oh God. Thank you, Bear, for that one.
Well, I'd seen it before his video. That actually has been showing up in newspapers and magazines for a while now.
But
Like,
they're not funny.
If you bring cake to work, you might make the fat people feel bad about themselves.
I brought cake to work knowing the fat person was going to finish it, so I didn't have to take the leftovers home.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Embrace your fatness. You don't have to be accepted, but know that you're fat and you want that cake.
Like, it's not like somebody brings in cake and they don't expect everybody to have a piece. The only way that people are going to look now, okay. If you already had 3 pieces of cake with your lunch and then you have a piece of cake that somebody brought in, they might judge you.
Sure, and that's fair.
But if it's just like everybody got together to throw a little party for Tim because it's his birthday or it's his last day or whatever,
It's tiring.
Have a piece of cake. Stop worrying that people will think you're eating cake. It's fucking God. Stop worrying so much about what other people think about you. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
I want to assure you this, and I mean this. Please listen to my words. Please listen to my words. Even in high school, people did not think about you as much as you think they did. They just didn't. They didn't sit around all day going, I hate Jennifer. Now, it might have come up from time to time, but they didn't spend their whole day doing that.
Well, to be fair, Jennifer was a cunt.
Jennifer is a cunt. But once you get into the real world, it happens even less. When people are worried about their mortgages and their phone bill and their light bill and getting their kids to school, they don't have time to sit around worried about your fat ass eating cake. Even if they take a couple of minutes to laugh about the fat chick eating cake, it's going to move on out of their brain and they won't think about it again. You know why? Because they have other shit to do. They're not going to care. And if they do, it's not going to be for too long. And even if they do, it doesn't fucking matter. Who cares what somebody else thinks? That's the part of the body positivity part that makes me laugh so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we don't care what people think about us. Oh, yeah, you do. Shut up. Yes, you do.
They definitely care.
You don't have to. People who don't care what other people think about them don't have to run around shouting all the time. I don't care what people think about me.
I don't believe you.
Like, yeah, you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be saying it so much. Hey, look, I give less than a shit about what people think about me, but there's a tiny little bit. I'm like, yeah, look, I want people to like me. I want people to think I'm funny. So that's caring what people think, right? The Marty McFly thing, I don't care if you think that's weird. I'm still going to talk about it because it made me laugh. But so many people put their whole fucking world into what other people think about them and just stop. It's like you never get over high school, for fuck's sake. There was this one time Jennifer called me fat. Jennifer's a cunt. We talked about her. Ignore her. Go on with your life. Jesus fucking Christ. I can't imagine sitting or being anywhere and being worried that somebody they might think I'm eating cake. I give less than a fuck if you care about me eating cake. Oh man. I don't know if you heard or not, Dax. The Mueller report, however you say his fucking name,
Whatever.
That's somebody who needs to care a little bit about what people think and spell his name in a way we can say it, you dick. It's going to be released to Congress tomorrow.
Ooh.
Dun dun dun. Dankula verified account help said this. Said what? I don't know what's going on. Polly,
Hello.
how are you?
Oh, doing all right, I guess.
You just missed fat bitches, and we're moving on to Mueller.
All right.
The Mueller report is going to be released today.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a 9:30, I think it is, press conference, or well, not necessarily press conference, a press conference, not necessarily questions from the press though, from William Barr ahead of the release. And we heard yesterday that the DOJ and William Barr have talked to the White House about the report.
So they colluded ahead of time, is what you're
They
saying.
colluded. Yes, Polly, they colluded. I read a great thing on CNN. It wasn't because I was reading CNN, and I follow them on Twitter, and fucking Chris Eliza showed up in my timeline. And the dick actually had the nerve to write in his piece about this that the Mueller investigation was about Russian interference in our election. Like, what? No. Bring that goalpost back. Come on. Bring it back. The Mueller investigation was specifically about Trump colluding with the Russians. You dirty dick. But lefties all over Twitter were losing their shit yesterday. It was glorious. Fucking glorious. There's part of me. Now, here's what I think is really going to happen. I think there's going to be some stuff in the Mueller report, Mueller, in that dickhead's report that's not going to look good for the president. Sure. Mostly probably surrounding obstruction. Because we did hear that that Mueller had said that there was a case there, that there was some evidence of obstruction, some not, and he just wasn't going to make the call. So if anything comes out that's going to be worrisome for the president, I think that's what it's going to be. I don't think there's going to be like a smoking. Look, him and Putin, they were playing Risk together. There's not going to be anything like that in there.
Putin cheats.
Putin, he's a cheater, man. We all know that. That's why you don't play. You don't even play Monopoly with that bastard. But I don't think there's going to be anything, groundbreaking. There's not going to be anybody out there because of it seriously talking about impeachment. However, what I really want to happen is for this to be so mundane that they literally have nothing they can complain about on the left. So it just like blows up in their face a second time. I might actually come if that happens. I mean, I might be just like, oh, because they want it so bad. They want it so bad. I want to read you something. Do you know who Representative Elijah Cummings is?
Yes.
Elijah Cummings. I know you actually know by the way you said yes.
Go on.
If you had said yes, I'm like, I don't know if he really knows. Anyway, he tweeted this out. This is outrageous. The AG is supposed to be an independent beacon of truth and justice. Instead, Barr is debasing the rule of law, degrading our democratic institutions, and decimating any trust the American people have left in this administration. He said that over news that the Attorney General spoke to the president. You guys might not know this because it gets lost in all the bullshit. But the Attorney General works for the goddamn president.
What you're saying is he's a traitor.
Trump is literally his fucking boss.
in every sense, by the way. Like it's
Yeah.
like it's not just appointed by, but serves at the pleasure of, meaning has the ability to terminate him according to the Constitution at any time.
He's literally his boss.
Yeah. They can't collude together. They can't, et cetera, all sorts of things. But I mean, it's Elijah Cummings. I mean, this guy is he's prone to hyperbole like I'm prone to insomnia, meaning daily. Like it. Yeah.
You know what's funny though, Polly? I've been watching Congress for quite some time, and I remember when he was relatively new. Now he's an elder statesman. Do you realize that he's a fucking elder statesman?
Well, I mean, he's lived off the public tit for a long time. Is that what they mean?
Well, yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
But we tend to give that phrase much more meaning than it deserves. Elder statesman it means you're old and you've been in there a long time. It doesn't mean you've actually ever done a fucking thing worth of shit. I like watching him because he can go from 0 to Southern Baptist preacher in a nanosecond. There's some great speeches of his where he'll walk up to the podium and he's like, hi, and then immediately go into fire and brimstone kind of congressional speeches, which is weird.
Yeah, him and Michael Eric Dyson.
It's funny though, man. But yeah, he's decimated. He's debasing the rule of law.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
Okay, look. The Attorney General is under no obligation to give the Mueller report to Congress. He's not. They could subpoena it, and then if they wanted to, they could get into a fight in the courts about it. But there's no law that says he has to turn that over to Congress. Again, he works for the president, not for Congress. Congress has oversight, which is where they can try to subpoena it if they want to. But this idea that, oh my God, he talked to his boss about a report. That's what we're talking about here. He talked to his boss about a report, for fuck's sake. And now look, they did this, and they even announced that they did this so that the president's lawyers can get a heads up on what they might be reacting to tomorrow, to get a jump on the news cycle. Okay. That doesn't mean there's anything dirty going on. It would be different if they're like, okay, we changed this so that they didn't have to, change any narrative or anything. Or we purposefully blocked this so they didn't have to address it. No, it's just like, boss, this is what they're going to be talking about tomorrow. Here's a heads up. But they're acting like, oh my God, the whole rule of law has been thrown out. Dickhead, they're doing you a favor by releasing any of it to you. Now, look, I am of the opinion they should release all of it. I don't give a fuck. We paid for it. But if you want to talk about the rule of law, Elijah, at least fucking know what the law is, you dick. You know why what's decimating the trust in the American people? It's you fuckers on the left lying about all of this. Out there pretending that there's actually something illegal about. I mean, notice he did not in any way actually say it was illegal. He was very careful not to say it was illegal. Debasing the rule of law, degrading our democratic institutions, decimating any trust the American people have. Didn't say anything illegal. Is Dax asleep? No, Dax isn't asleep.
What? I'm not asleep.
He's been speaking. More so than he usually does.
Who the hell?
What? You're usually quiet.
Depends on what we're talking about. But I happen to think that I agree with you on most of the things here. It's like he doesn't have to release it. Not his obligation to subpoena him. There you go.
Yeah,
I think, like you, we should see it at some point, and I don't think it's going to be as damning as they hope it is.
Yeah, and I do like how Chris Feliza changed it. This was to see if there was any Russian interference. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
No, it's just to prove that your dick was bigger than Trump's. Congratulations, it's not.
Stop lying. But there was somebody who replied to Elijah named Carol Dix. I just love that name. And they said, this is corruption. We're supposed to have checks and balances.
Yeah.
It
They're
annoys
still
me.
there. What? Go on.
It annoys me how many people throw out terms they've heard and have no idea what the fuck they mean, especially when it comes to things like how our government works, how our constitutional government was set up. The checks and balances isn't the AG checking the president. Congress and the Supreme Court check the president. The president and Congress don't really check the Supreme Court, and they get to set the laws. So that's where that check comes. That's where the balance is. It's a reference to the three branches of government, not the people who work for the fucking president, you silly bitch.
There, I don't know.
Eh.
I kind of, I sort of agree with a lot of what you said. Some of it, particular points, I don't. Like the people paid for it, therefore it's ours. I mean, no offense, but that's kind of facile. It simply doesn't work that way.
Hang on.
Yeah, I mean, we paid for atomic weaponry. It doesn't mean it's ours specifically.
Look, when I say that, I realize that's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm throwing that out. This is my perfect world, and
Gotcha.
a weapon would be a different thing. But I mean, this was a investigation we paid for. I think we should be able to see. I think our government is way too stingy when it comes to sharing information. They claim national security on fucking everything.
And there, I don't disagree with you on the idea of overclassification is a serious concern, and Congress should be running an investigation on that. But now investigation has become a 4-letter word. It's just like the sheer amount of things that are classified. Is ridiculous.
You're not wrong.
But,
yeah.
And so really, the fact that something gets overclassified doesn't really have the same kind of redaction qualification that court hearings do. That when you have the kind of situation where you're doing an investigation, especially one that's as large and broad as the Mueller report, the Mueller investigation, rather, there's all kinds of shit in there that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Yeah, and it undermines the grand jury process to do otherwise. And you think that lawmakers, people like Elijah Cummings, who have been to law school and accepted to a bar. I mean, admittedly, it was back in the 70s when this happened for him. But nonetheless, this is who he is. He goddamn well knows that. He's involved in political rhetoric. I mean, he's the head of the oversight committee. So, of course, he's talking this way.
Well, I wanted to point out that I am somebody who thinks the whole thing should be released. So that people don't think I'm just picking on Cummings because he wants to see it. I'm all for him seeing it. I just think the way he's talking about it is bullshit.
Oh, of course it is. It's grandstanding. But I mean, we're talking about Elijah Cummings. His bread and butter is to grandstand. It's what the guy does. It's what people expect from him. It's why his constituents keep reelecting him, because he gives them hell, don't you know?
Oh, yeah.
Maxine Waters gets reelected. Why? In my opinion, she's a little more than a poverty pimp.
Well, it's absolutely what she is.
Well, it's just, why do the people keep reelecting her? Because she gives those people hell, don't you know? And she does. Why do you think she gets supposedly caught saying all of these things? Nah, she's not getting caught saying shit. She says stuff like that all the time and has for a long time. She's been under investigations. They would, Jesus Christ. No wonder she doesn't think much of Donald Trump being investigated. She's been under near constant investigation since she was elected, with all of her fraudulent, fake ass, trifling ways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anyway, it's part of her reelection, constant reelection bid. I will, you get articles in The Root and articles in Essence magazine where they call her Auntie Maxine. These are people who aren't her constituents. Well, yeah. she's like an older grandma, like your grandmother. It's like your aunt.
If your grandma's like that, I feel bad for you. That bitch is crazy,
right? No, but I mean, it's just it's part of the aura built around her, and Elijah Cummings is no different. What bugs me is that news entertainers play a part in it. Like this article here from the Washington Post. I remember reading this. This is like the worst kind of hagiography. This is in the style section of the Washington Post. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like the style section with like, if Homecoming doesn't convince you of Beyonce's greatness, nothing will. What the fuck are you talking about Elijah Cummings in here? Well, let's just take a quick little thing off of that. When the word of the Lord came to Elijah, as in the prophet Elijah, it arrived on a slip of paper tucked in a stranger's bra. Okay. In 2017, Representative Elijah Cummings, Democrat from Maryland, had been laid up in Johns Hopkins Hospital for 2 months, crippled by pain after a difficult recovery from a heart valve replacement, when an interloper came bustling through the door calling his name. Quote, she reached into her bosom and pulls out a note, Cummings said recently. She says, the Lord has been waking me all night. It was so important that I thought I'd write it down. It says, he don't mean you no harm. He's just trying to get your attention. He wants you to know he ain't finished with you yet. Cummings, 67, recalled this story in an interview with his district office in Baltimore. If God wasn't trying to get his attention, he sure wasn't subtle about it. This month, Democrats triumphed in elections across the country, winning back the House of like, what the fuck? This is in the style section. It's part of the game.
I read that when that first was written. And,
did you?
Yeah, because it makes him sound almost saintly. By the end of it.
You're not wrong. And that's what I thought about it. Like hagiography, for those who don't know, it's like it's a biography of a saint that's written in such a way that they're everything they do is divine or divinely inspired. It's just over the top promotion. And so when somebody like Elijah Cummings is written of in such a way where you even bring God into it, it becomes a sort of literal hagiography. Could you boast up this guy anymore? Could you make him seem like he's on more of a righteous mission?
Yeah, they could have said he actually cured blind kids, but otherwise, no. No, I read this. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Look, his people keep reelecting him, fine. But can we at least be honest about these guys? Like I said, I used to laugh so hard when I'd watch him because, I'm one of those people who used to watch C-SPAN for hours. And he would get up there and he would immediately launch into the most passionate speech as though something that a normal person would have to work up to. And it was just so obvious. It's like he's acting. But when they'd show those clips on the news, they never showed that first part where he like just walks. It was always like, he gave a great speech today, and then show like a 10-second clip where he's yelling and it made it look like, wow, this guy's really passionate all his time. No, he's a fucking actor. But that part never came out because, you have to see the beginning, and walk up and think, good morning, how are you guys today? How are you? And then God said to kill you all.
Don't know if he said that, but okay.
You know what I mean.
Unfortunately, I do know what you mean.
Yeah, it's just so funny to watch. And he's kind of a douchebag, but I mean, it's Congress.
Well,
but look,
and the thing that I love is that kind of scrolled back up to the top there. And of course, there it is on every page. The Washington Post, democracy dies in darkness. It comes across as a grim piece of unintentional irony to see that over that. Does it not?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's that you could not be claiming a higher purpose for your rag and then falling so short of it.
I really can't wait for this to be released today. There were several people. He only released it because this is the Easter weekend. Yeah, that's probably why they did it today. But it could also be that he said he would do it by the middle of April. I mean, those two things aren't mutually exclusive,
I remember when a professor of mine said, you know who used to own the Washington Post? And I was like, no. He goes, yeah, I don't know either. He said it was some family, like old family, like old money, that kind of thing, And it's like, that's who owned it. And that's who used to own newspapers, generally speaking. They would transfer from old family to old family, all purchased by old money. And he says, then, because I'm somebody who's very much against the idea of the caste system, like, the sort of the aristocracy, like moneyed people, the despising of the nouveau riche, as if I've got as much money as you do, even more. Yeah, but you're a nouveau riche, you're new money. You know what I mean? It's sort of anti-American, if you know what I mean. It doesn't really vibe with the idea of personal individual achievement. But he said, in this case, no, I wish it had stayed with the old families. because when it was bought by corporations, suddenly clicks become important, and then or billionaires like Jeff Bezos can buy it, and it becomes his personal mouthpiece, and things along these lines. And it's like, you wonder when the prestige of owning a newspaper by an old family, it doesn't seem like a good idea, but it kind of is.
Well, yeah, they weren't personally involved in it.
Yeah, that's what they were, really hands off. It was the ownership of it because of who they were is why they were in it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it was more of a status symbol kind of thing. I wanted to, there was something. Oh, fuck. I just lost a thought. I hate when that happens.
I thought you had tons of thought viewers.
No. Damn it. I need more thoughts in my chat.
I like Evil One saying that all the news you get comes from 7 sources. You're exaggerating, 7? But not by much.
Is it even 7 at this point? I think we're down to 3.
You know where it's absolutely true, like 3 and so forth, is when you read the garbage tier articles that we do, like at Comic Book Curation, for example. There's really only 3 sources they're pulling all their information from. Every one of those garbage tier sites.
Eric says, "You dumbasses are the news." No, we're not. We're commentary. We are strictly commentary on this channel.
Good for you, monkey.
No, I saw.
Just don't fall down that trap of thinking of yourself as like,
oh, I'm not news.
you know, like Sticks, X, and Hammer. Hey, Sticks, I love you to death, man, but you're not news. You're a commentator. It's not a bad thing either.
On Lords of the Night, we were there to break the story of the Syrian bombing, of Trump bombing Syria, but we didn't have cameras over there. We just talked about what had just been reported. It just happened to happen during our show. It's not like we were running around with Deep Throat getting the information so we could break it to everyone. No, it came across one of our feeds and we're like, holy shit, check out what's going on.
Yeah, we were the first to talk about it in our circle. And what's wrong with that? But but
that doesn't make us news. It was like, that was a lucky timing thing. And the rest of what we do is literally commenting on the news.
Yeah.
Well, if you can even call it news anymore. No, I want to say this before I forget it again. I read this earlier and I don't remember who said it. It might've been Vernaculus. But they said, I don't see headlines, only agendas. I was like, fuck, you're not wrong. That is very
Vernaculus.
That is very well put. And I'm not positive it was him, so don't quote me, but I think it was. But I saw them.
I could see it. He's eloquent.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, no, it's
exactly what it is.
It almost behooves us, as much as we beat this drum, and especially myself, to start like a quick collection of things. It's like, I don't see headlines, I see agendas. Ripping off Bear's statement or putting it in the collection. Irate Bear's statement about, they're not comedy shows, they're political rallies.
Yeah.
And it's like, these are all really succinct statements that tell us that where we are in the age of Trump.
Adagrat says there are very few journalists. Most just comment on the news. Well, we've talked about this so many times on here, but when it comes to the idea, that there are very few actual news sources. CNN, if you read their articles, almost all of them include something along the lines of, as reported by the Washington Post.
Absolutely.
As reported by BuzzFeed. In an interview on Fox News. And you'll actually see that on CNN from time to time. Because
have a good day, Peter.
CNN, see you, Peter. CNN does very little actual reporting.
They don't. Sorry, go ahead.
I think that's why they like Jim Acosta so much. Because dick that he is, at least he's out there in the field collecting news. He made himself part of it, but being there to capture the president's words or the president's spokesman's words, that's actual journalism. That's actual journalism. If you would just repeat it instead of adding your own 2 cents, you dick. But to the anchors in the desk chair, like, man, that dude actually collected that by himself. He didn't have to read the Washington Post to find out what the president said, except for that week he was kicked out.
Well, Maddie says there, Ranting Monkey, don't forget Reuters and AP. Yeah. They're the last bastion of journalism, man. I agree. One can point out critical things about them, especially AP recently. It's like, what the hell? Why are you putting this story out? But they're the ones with feet on the ground, and there's no way to prove your mettle as a journalist better than working for the AP for a while.
Let me just say this. As I said with CNN just a moment ago, it is amazing how many times recently, because I don't read Reuters very often, but I do read the AP. How many times their stories are according to the Washington Times, according to BuzzFeed, according to some other thing we read that we're now reporting at. Yeah. They're getting just as I am almost positive the only reporters out there belong to the Washington Post, which is really scary.
New York Times as well has a hell of a lot of investigative reporters.
Yeah, I'll give you that. The Times is too. They are often another one that is, according to an article in the New York Times, or so and so told the New York Times. Like, well, why am I not just reading the New York Times? Fox News had Bernie on, yeah, and his fans loved it. You would have thought he had dick slapped kill meat on that one. I didn't see it also. Tim Pool thinks he's a reporter. He used to be. Now he's just a reader. I mean, I know Tim has gone and done, some of the, he used to go to like rallies and stuff. And I don't know how much else he's done. I'm not that familiar with his work, but most of us on YouTube are commentators. It's what we do. Anyway, I'm sorry, Paul. You were asking a question.
No, I'm curious what you think about Tim Pool, whether he's, where he's at and what he's doing.
I don't dislike Tim Pool, but I'm not like a big fan. And I mean, yeah, I wish him luck with I have no ill will towards him, man.
No, I'm not even talking about ill will. It's just you get the idea of, okay, there's lots of people out there that, from the Young Turks to, and I hate to couple the Young Turks with Sticks, X, and Hammer, but Sticks, X, and Hammer talks about like reporting on something. How many people are actually out there on the ground doing something, doing interviews, asking questions, etc. in some fashion. And I'd say, Tim Pool is. Like, I'll give him that. Like, maybe he's slipped. I'm certainly no expert on the man's career, but he does leave his house. I'll give him that.
I'll give him that.
And fuck, Monkey and Dax. Don't forget, I know you're here too. Dragging you back into the conversation. That is a criticism that you can lay at the majority of journalists. You don't leave your chair, do you?
Mm-hmm.
That's awful. They do leave their chair to go to the soirees and to go down to the, whatever the fuck embassy where they're having a party.
The bathroom.
The bathroom on occasion. Head down, pick up a bagel. Yeah. Speaking of, you mentioned the Washington Times.
Mm.
You know who founded the Washington Times?
I don't.
Reverend Moon.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I know that the Times, they're seen as the lesser paper.
Oh, yeah. Compared to the Post? Fuck yeah. And
sometimes I like to go to the lesser papers for their news.
If you want a good comparison, like comparative paper readings, and you want subscriptions, go Post and Times, because you will get liberal and conservative. Now the Post is like, democracy dies in darkness. We are the paper of, Watergate, and we did. Yeah. Okay. That was in the past. You become a bunch of hacks. And it's like, you're as of liberal of a bent as the Washington Times is of a conservative bent. And and they interview different people and write different stories, and their their takes on the same story are wildly different. It's hilarious. I accept that there's bias in journalism, but when you look at it, Jesus, you do have to read two papers if you want to get some kind of sense of the whole thing, as opposed to what the Post does. where how many fucking words do they have for op-ed? Analysis, the roundup, opinion, editorial, politics, just generally. They consider politics to be an occasion to write an op-ed. Amazing. And it's like, where's the news where you actually feel that the journalistic standards of having a minimum of 2 sources or at least one verifiable source, et cetera, the kind of editorial stuff where anybody who's been in the newspaper business will say, yeah, well, you can't just print any old thing. You have to have a source, and there's a relationship between you and your editor, and it's not as lackadaisical as people make it. People sometimes think that it is. It is for the editorial staff.
Right.
You know, where's the news, which is getting smaller and smaller and smaller of a section. And more editorial stuff that used to just be on the op-ed page is getting pushed above the fold, so to speak.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. If they did straight news, it would be boring as fuck. So they have. I understand, livening up a little bit with fancy words and such, and some little backgrounds and stuff. Yeah, but it's gotten to the point where it is nothing but editorial in so many fucking stories. Front page fucking stories.
Yep, I agree.
And man, it's insane. I've jokingly said this, but it's actually true. I love the New York Post.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, they don't seem to take themselves too seriously. They realize they're the lesser paper in New York. And so they have a little fun with it. So you get, you still have your style and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And they cover the major stories. But then you get a lot of, just off the beaten path stuff. You'll have the New York Times will go through and their whole front page and the first 4 pages, it'll be about one news story. And the Post has like half an article about that. And then they move on to, weird shit going on across the country. I care about that more than some asshole at the New York Times opinion on the Mueller report that they've not even seen yet. Look, when it comes out, for the record, the press isn't going to see this. The press is not going to see the Mueller report tomorrow. It's being released to Congress.
Which means that what? The press will have it by sundown?
Well, they will, but they're not supposed to.
Well,
Spartacus will release it.
Of course.
This is my Spartacus moment.
This is my 5th Spartacus moment this month. And then with any luck, we'll be able to get a second round from Chris Cuomo. Now, you can't have this, but it's different for us in the press. So everything you're learning about it from us. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But it'll be kind of funny, actually, to see how many news outlets report on it where you can tell they've seen it or have gotten a really deep accounting of it, who've also gone on record on how much or how horrible Assange is.
Yeah.
For releasing, stuff we're not supposed to see. Uh-oh.
Come on. These people have principles only insofar as it services something that's of a temporary interest to them,
Sure, of course.
Well, yeah, I mean, that might sound like a harsh indictment, but what the fuck are you supposed to think? I mean, the Washington Post themselves published the Pentagon Papers.
Right.
They weren't supposed to have them. That was an illegal leak, turned into a big court case. But we did it because democracy dies in darkness. We are the one. Oh, throw that fucker in jail. Like, really?
Yep. Well,
and it's like, if I'm supposed to think that you only have temporary transitory principles because it services a thing of the moment that you have, which is fuck Trump. Yeah. What is somebody supposed to think? You have principles the rest of the time? No, they're going to assume that you're a fucking snake oil salesman. Well,
look, as long as I've been watching politics, we've heard about the liberal press. And even if you thought you knew where somebody was, they never came out and really gave it away. They didn't really give it away. And that started, it kind of started under Bush and leading into Obama with like Chris Matthews and the shiver down his leg listening to the men's talk. You disgusting prick. I I can't think of too many news people where I couldn't pretty much tell you where they stand. Who they support, because it's become their thing to there are no headlines, only agendas. And I have to tell you what I think, or you won't know why or what you're supposed to believe from me. How many SJWs are snakes? That's a random question for the conversation, RJ, but I don't know.
They mean well.
I couldn't even give you a guesstimate.
38%.
There you go. Brian Krasenstein. Let's talk about the Krasensteins for a moment.
Nice.
Dear media, if Barr's redacted version of Mueller's report is highly redacted to a point where it's impossible to tell if Trump was complicit in a crime, please don't react like you did 1 month ago upon the release of the Barr report. Thank you, America. He's speaking for all of America. Look, these guys got their hopes so up because reportedly a couple of people from Mueller's team said that Barr it wasn't as harsh on Trump as the report actually was. Not that there was collusion, not that there's going to be any more charges. Just they thought he should have expressed that they were a little bit harsher on Trump than Barr did. And now, man, Krasensteins have gone full Rachel Maddow, man. They are convinced we're going to get some collusion tomorrow. And I kind of hope they fall into a somber embrace together when it doesn't happen. And it's on camera.
I love you, brother. I love you too.
Kiss me like you mean it. Oh wait,
like we did by the park.
Yeah, it's fun reading these two because they are so crazy about this shit.
Well, I don't know. Is it so hard to look beyond somebody's immediate statement, go something beyond prima facie, and say, "Hey, I don't like Donald Trump because he's, I don't know, a traitor and fucking up our democracy." It's like, yeah, but your entire internet career and the sales of your children's books and all sorts of other things are dependent upon you continuing to say this and quadrupling down, etc. So of course you said that. I mean, it's like, get this. Rush Limbaugh today came out with a strong conservative position.
Dun, dun, dun.
You know what I mean? Like, of course he did. What's the shock here? His entire radio career relies on it. Is it so different that Rachel Maddow did that? No, it's all I ask is for critical thinking on people's part to just go, really? The Krasenstein said that. Rachel Maddow said that. Huh. What do you know? It's
yeah. Nobody is on the collusion train anymore. Nobody except the Krasensteins. And it seems to me like they are really like they heard that little thing from unnamed sources, by the way, still unnamed, and they're like, oh, we're going to beat everybody to this, and everybody's going to love us. We'll be we'll be relevant in the resistance again. And I get what you're saying, because that's kind of what that's their shtick.
Mm-hmm.
They're leaders of the resistance, which is probably the most manly thing they've ever been in their lives.
Mm.
But you also gotta cow that with reality. You gotta tone it down a little bit. You gotta leave yourself some wiggle room.
Okay, well, you raise a kind of like an interesting subject. It's like they're going to be the ones that are, they latched onto this one idea of unnamed sources. Do you think they're doing that, or do you think they're on a chess move where they've calculated out, hey, there's a whole bunch of people online that are very passionate about this hashtag resist thing. We can be the people who continue to carry the torch for this.
If they did calculate it out that way, it's really stupid. It makes more sense if you really want to keep pushing the whole Mueller investigation when everybody else is like, yeah, there's nothing left there. You stick to the conspiracy, because that's, if there's going to be something, that's where it's going to be. We've never had any suggestion of anything that Trump had illegal contact with Russia. There's just nothing. Even the people who've gotten in trouble because of conversations they had with Russia, it's not because of the conversations they had. It's because they lied about having those conversations.
Right.
With the Cohen thing, that whole thing was over a Trump Tower being built in Moscow. It wasn't about any influence peddling. It was about Trump Tower being built. And instead of, if Cohen had just told the truth from the beginning, like, yeah, we talked about that. Donald Trump Jr. gave his testimony in front of Congress and didn't get in any trouble. And he said, as far as I recall, the last time we had a conversation about that was in, I think he said March or something, when apparently it was in June. But he did the smart thing. As far as I recall, that's not lying. That's what I remember about it. Well, you had this conversation in June. Oh, okay. So the last time we had it was in June. You know how many conversations I've had between now and then? You know what I mean? So everything they've found is either stuff that happened before these people worked for Trump, or these people like what's his name, Flynn, lying to the FBI because there was a phone call that he forgot about. They're like, you lied. We're gonna push it. And he's like, okay, I'll cop to it. And yeah, I mean, there was nothing from it. There's nothing from it for the collusion side, but there may be a case in there for obstruction, because I mean, I don't think it counts as obstruction, but the president, you know, he did tweet some things where people are like, oh, it sounds like he's telling them not to investigate, which he wasn't. He was just saying, you know, this is a bullshit investigation, which he was right about, by the way. But if you're going to keep clinging to it, just to save face, obstruction is the way you go. Just saying. But these two are idiots, so I did like that Paul Joseph Watson finally called them out for talking to each other when they're in the same room. Talking to each other on Twitter.
Tweet. Yeah.
And it's so cute. It's amazing. I don't know if have you guys ever watched them do it?
No.
Trump will tweet something.
Them do it?
Yeah, you can. I've seen it live. So Trump will tweet something, and then each of them will respond to the tweet, and then each of them will respond to the other's tweet, and then they'll each reply to the other's comment.
Wow.
Every time. It's like, you guys are weird. You guys are fucking weird. And I love you for it. Not in a good way. They're two of my favorite lolcows. I want to start a movement, and I know this is mean as fuck, but I want to try to drive a wedge between them by convincing one of them that everybody thinks they're the ugly one. So is that wrong?
Who's the pretty one?
I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go with Sunglass Boy. Which one is that?
That's exactly what I was thinking too. The aviator pitcher guy, the aviator sunglasses pitcher guy. He's the pretty one. Jesus,
he's a pretty one.
It must be sucked to constantly be called identical when you're the pretty one.
Yeah.
I like it.
I just think it would be funny as fuck. I know that's wrong. It's so petty.
I kind of want to see it though.
Me too, right? By the way, YouTube, I am not suggesting we start a campaign of harassment. Harassment is wrong.
Well,
Kevin says they're not reading the comments at all, huh? We just did.
Let's talk about the Krasensteins.
Yeah, I thought he was talking about the Krasensteins too. Who's they?
No, he's talking about us. Because he said earlier, we don't care. You can't get obstruction for a case that never existed. Yes, you can. You absolutely can.
Yeah, you can. Because
Lying is obstructing justice, whether the underlying case there was actually something there or not. You're slowing down the process. Yeah, I don't think Trump did it. I don't think they're going to find anything that Trump. The attorney general's already said he's not pursuing charges. There's no reason to talk about it. But if your online career depends on two things: responding to Trump as soon as he tweets something, and being part of la resistance, then yeah, you cling on to obstruction as hard as you can, because that's what you have to do.
I don't know. Could you interpret that something Donald Trump did, or some things plural that Donald Trump did, could amount to an obstruction charge? I'm not even talking about whether you could convince a jury or a judge or anything else. Just like, could you substantiate the case generally? Yeah, sure. Why not? The guy looked funny one day when we said you're under investigation, and we took that as a threat from the president.
Yeah.
Like anything. There's a great book out there called was it 4 Felonies a Day? That if a prosecutor wants to, they can charge you with up to 4 felonies a day, because just going about your daily life, you're going to end up committing all kinds of fucking crimes.
Yeah.
And my point in bringing that up is just the degree to which you're a vindictive, petty bastard. And Democrats are coming across like vindictive, petty bastards. Looking at you, Elijah Cummings. That's how you're coming across. Oh, we will investigate because I'm Adam Schiff and my entire credibility relies on me continuing to talk on CNN 7 times a week about how this blah, 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 blah.
That is one freaky looking dude.
Oh my God. Yeah.
He looks like somebody's pulling the skin on his feet really tight, and it's just dragging the rest of his body down.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, and I have become tired and overwrought with people saying, well, what about where, and I don't mean in terms of just whataboutism, just somebody pointing out an example of the very same individuals being perfectly okay with it's not happening. It's like, yeah, the world isn't fair. And this is perpetuating disillusionment and disrespect for the rule of law generally. Mm-hmm. You have the director of the FBI talking as if he's the attorney general of the Department of Justice, saying, oh, we're not going to go ahead with charges against Hillary Clinton because she didn't know what she was doing was illegal. Yeah. It's like, what? Like, that's your basis after explaining all of these ways that she broke the law, should have known the law, clearly understood what a classified document was, understood
how to sign papers saying she knew what it was.
Yeah. After years in the federal government, you're claiming that level of incompetency with something you do hourly, if not daily, in terms of dealing with sensitive documentation and so forth. And you didn't know that? And it's like, is there anything in charge with even like a minor thing? Yeah, there is, but the call they're making is like, it's not really worth it because, like, yeah, okay, I guess in a technical sense, she committed a crime. Like, oh, fuck. When you have both parties, like whether it be Kenneth Starr's investigation or Robert Mueller's or whatever, and now we got to keep the investigation train going because we got to run this motherfucker to at least 2020,
right?
And a new cycle of investigations, if the historical pattern holds, and Donald Trump happens to be reelected, if the pattern holds, it's like we're starting new investigations. We're starting investigations of our previous investigations and why they didn't produce what the results we wanted.
Anthony says ignorance is not a defense. The thing is, ignorance wasn't even a possible defense. The fact that Comey came out and said that was fucking retarded. When you are in charge of classified information, you have to sign a paper saying you know how to take care of it. And if she didn't read it, then she also lied when she signed that paper. Brown Code says you paint some vivid mental images there, Chief. Well, the other way to think of Adam Schiff, and sorry, only guys can do this one. Well, girls, you can do it with your man. Next time you have a hard on, start at the top of your penis and with a very tight hand, stroke down to the base. Just pull that skin as tight as you can.
Jesus.
and
That
then
sounds
put
painful.
hang on, and then put some of those googly eyes on the head of your dick. That is Adam Schiff.
That was worth it.
It's what he looks like.
Yeah.
He looks like a dick that's been pulled too tight. I was trying to be nice before.
Yeah, but I like it better this way.
If Trump wins 2020, he will be a lame duck, and oh my God, he will drive the press insane. You know what? A lame duck Trump might be fun as fuck. It might be fun as fuck. What if the Mueller report reveals that JFK cheated Nixon? Yeah, I don't think they went that far. I don't think they dug that deep. What's the noise in the background?
What noise?
I don't know. Somebody asked. So he looks like a smooth Yoda. Now, do you not know what Adam Schiff looks like?
Yeah, he's kind of got a turkey gobbler neck as well.
I haven't been tricked in a while.
Holy shit, you had that right at the ready, didn't you?
I'm trained, so whenever somebody says turkey, I have to gobble. I blame monkey, and I blame bear, and I blame everybody.
It's not me. It was Bear and Vanilla Bear, wasn't
It
it?
was mostly Vanilla Bear. I'll give you credit on that one.
There he is.
That doesn't clearly demonstrate the line of skin that connects the top of his tie knot to his chin. It's a straight line, man. There's no under curvature of chin. There we go.
Look, it looks like his head has just been. He looks like a dickhead that's just been pulled too tight. That's where his ball sack.
His eyes make me sad.
Yeah, like that's why you need the googly eyes. Anyhow, there we go. Yeah, that is. What does he run? The
what is
judicial committee? I can't remember. Yeah,
I thought he was head of the intelligence committee.
Is he intelligence?
I thought it was the House Standing Committee on Intelligence, the SSCI.
Maybe it is. It looks like pulling your ball sack over your dick. There's another good one. I mean, he's a weird looking dude, which is fine. You know, he can be weird looking, but he's also an asshole.
And let's not forget he's bug-eyed.
Yeah. He's a weird dude. There was a story I saw today that I want to talk about. We're going to change course completely. We've been on politics for a while. We're going to talk about other stupid people. Because when I saw this story, I was like, I don't even know what to say to that. We talked about, the rebuilding of Notre Dame the other day and stuff. And look, if they want to rebuild it, good. But not this way.
Wow.
Architects and historians wonder, maybe the new Notre Dame should be less overburdened with Christian meaning.
What?
Yeah, I read that. It was I read it after Shapiro talked about it, and it was just like, oh, fuck you guys right in the ass. Like, it was...
This came across my Twitter. It was right as we were finishing Lords of the Night. I'm like, what the... So the only thing... You know how you make Christianity better? You take the religion out of it. You take the Christianity out of it. You know what? We can make all the churches better if we just take the religion out of them. We can make mosques better by taking the Islam out of them, and the synagogues better by taking the Jew gold out of them. And
Jesus Christ.
And yes, you're on the right path. We make the Christian churches better by taking the Jesus Christ out of them. I guess Notre Dame needs more of a museum feel. What kind of dumbass do you have to be? The building was so overburdened with meaning that its burning feels like an act of liberation, says Patricio Del Real, an architecture historian at Harvard University. Of course it's fucking Harvard.
No, but it's also, how far did you have to go and how many people did you have to talk to before you found the fucking liberal cocksucker that was willing to say that? Like, the person so into their own liberality that they had to say something like that. Oh, fuck off. What are you even researching with these people to write this article for? What is your fucking problem? What axe are you grinding? Well, I was just writing the news. No, that's not news. That's grinding an axe. What is that axe? You hate Christianity, you hate France. You're so into diversity that you don't want anyone's eyes to be burdened with something they might find offensive. What's the story? Because you've got this is a blog post, a highly researched blog post.
Well, the post it comes from is actually from Rolling Stone. Where they're talking about, how it gets rebuilt. And this guy, I just love that. Can you imagine saying that a burnt down mosque just feels liberating?
Well, that's different. You see, Islam is a man, blah, blah, blah.
To actually say that it's burning feels a little liberating. It's not a bra in the 60s, you stupid shit. It's okay. I know you don't realize this because you only go to Notre Dame to take pictures of yourself for Instagram, but it's a fucking church. It's what it is. It's a Catholic fucking church.
It's in that article. If I'm not mistaken, because I read like 3 in a row. I love it, Monkey.
I hate. There's some of these that it's just my fucking brain's like I don't know how to deal with that. Go ahead.
I hear you.
I
hear you. And modern France has a population of this and a population of that, and Muslims represent 5%. So maybe something should be rebuilt that more accurately reflects that. There's your axe. There's your fucking axe, isn't it? That you're grinding. 5% of the population. Are you fucking crazy? They're not being forced to go to it. You understand? It's going to be rebuilt at the global Catholic Church's expense. For fuck's sake. I mean,
yes, exactly.
The Golden Mosque in Jerusalem. It's kind of a blight on the landscape, if you will. It burdens the cityscape, and it causes so much trouble. After all, the Dome of the Rock and so forth, it's such a contentious issue. Would it really be such? I'm not even going to finish that sentence because that would end your channel, Monkey.
No shit, right? Look, we talked about this, so you guys know I'm not in this for like the art of it. But if you're going to rebuild Notre Dame, rebuild it as it was, as close to it as you can, because we have the ability to do that. I don't want to hear some jackass who doesn't like Christians. Look, I'm agnostic. But I don't have you go do your thing. You're not fucking with me by rebuilding your building. Knock yourselves out. But some asshole who's obviously an atheist with a stick up his ass. When you say the burning of it feels like an act of liberation, you're a cunt. You're just a cunt.
Hold on. You mean there's a Kabbalah emoji?
Is there?
A Kaaba emoji. Excuse me, not Kabbalah. That's something quite different. A Kaaba emoji? Yeah, look, number 1.
Oh, look at that.
Huh.
Why do we have to save the UK now? We don't.
From
we
themselves?
Should. They need some Trump over there.
Mm-hmm.
The UK needs Trump bad, man. When he's done, after 2024, he should go be prime minister for a while. Because they need it desperately. He would tell Merkel to go fuck herself, which is what she desperately needs to be told. Yeah, I'm sorry. This fucking thing. Okay, now I made jokes about building a mall where Notre Dame is. But this fucking picture, are you serious?
Oh, is this someone's perception of the way it should be? Wouldn't it be nice if there was a Baskin Robbins there?
One Baskin Robbins.
What? Is that a skating rink?
I'm not exactly sure. But there's a giant Gucci ad in front of the fucking church. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? No, I said tear it if you tear it down, not build around it, build Times Square around it, for fuck's sake. Oh my god, that is horrible. Anyhow, so yeah, if you're gonna rebuild it right. Don't do what we did with the Twin Towers. We should have built the Twin Towers back as they were, except we should have added one goddamn floor. The other idea I heard was to build it in the shape of a giant middle finger and point it to the Middle East. Point it right at fucking Mecca. I would have been okay with that too. But to take the two towers and build, was it one Freedom Plaza like it's a fucking comic book building? Where the Fantastic Four?
That was Freedom 4 Plaza.
Freedom 4 Plaza. I was close. I mean, it's almost the same.
Actually, I'm kind of impressed. You were very close. It's true.
And yeah, I haven't read Fantastic Four in a long time. But
have you seen the pictures of Pizza Hut and the pyramids of Giza?
No.
Hold on, let's take a look.
Okay, you know what? Those should never be touched. If they fall on their own, we can build over them, but never touch those.
But and they're not. I think these pictures, they're funny, but they're also instructive to the point that I'm going to be driving at here. I mean, there they are, right? Like, it's just, people take pictures all the time of this because it's fucking hilarious. Like, look at this.
Oh, okay.
Like through there's the Sphinx, there's the Great Pyramid of Giza, and this is like through the window at Pizza Hut, and people love taking these pictures, man.
Nice. Look, it's away from the site, so that I'm okay with that.
And that is my point. It's a juxtaposed image, and that's why we're laughing. It's hilarious. But what you don't see is the Sphinx down there wearing the Pizza Hut hat.
That would be awesome.
I was hoping to find a picture of the person who was like, there's one person holding a wide slice of pizza up against the pyramid, so it looks like the pyramids like is a wedge of pizza. It's great.
I didn't even realize the Sphinx was there. Okay, they could have moved it back a little bit from the Sphinx.
Yeah, isn't it god awful close, man? Like,
that is really close, man. You're gonna smell the pizza while you're down there.
You see people's here, right down there. But yeah, I mean, there's the Great Causeway. I mean, but that's how close it is. It's not that there's a Pizza Hut close there. It's just that this becomes this is how far the edge of Cairo has gotten to where the pyramids are.
Right. Then you start building up like we do in New York.
Yeah, and then you stop because you can't get any closer than the causeway that leads up to where the Sphinx is at and so forth. So you can't get any closer than that. So they build right up to the edge.
Other than a few historical sites in the U.S., like Gettysburg, there's not very many places I care to. Like, I would love to go see, Notre Dame someday. Don't care. I would love to go to the pyramids someday. Never going to happen because I'm a fucking cripple, but I'm absolutely fascinated by them.
Yeah, they're cool. I'd like to see them myself. I don't think I'd like visiting. It's like, hey, that was a great day looking at the pyramids. Why don't we go get a drink? No.
You know what I think it is? I think it's that as an American, I just appreciate stuff built by slavery.
Jesus.
Too soon?
Yeah, I mean, it's only been how long since the Emancipation Proclamation?
No, if you look into like the architecture of it, it's fucking amazing.
Sure is.
They shouldn't exist. They shouldn't. And I'm not even talking about how it was built, how they got those big ass fucking stones to the top and all that. Just the it is accidentally squared with true north is the only way to think about it, because they didn't, until recently, we didn't have the ability to build something as even to true north as those are.
You float a needle on a leaf in a fucking little container of water. It points north, man. Come on, wait, you're never a Boy Scout. We have never done it in history the way that it was done there. And they did it before, at the beginning of modern civilization, if you believe the timelines that we have right now, which again are being rewritten, which is awesome. I do love. We need to dig more. No, just tear it all down, monkey. You said the other day, it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Like, if it falls, that's one thing. If the pyramids are the only ones I'm giving that exception to, and you know what? It's my rule, so I can make the fucking exceptions. If they fall, you can build right over them. But until then, leave them alone. They've been using compasses for a long time, probably longer than we really know. Yeah, it's not just using a compass. Even using a compass, it is incredibly hard to hit true north. When you're building a straight line, it is incredibly hard. And they did this with giant rocks and slaves.
Well, actually, go ahead and look into it. It's very little evidence that slavery was involved.
Yes, I know. It's just a joke about it.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
You ever seen the shirt that shows a pyramid and it says slavery gets shit done?
No.
Yeah, it's not a very PC shirt, but yeah, it's out there. You can look it up. I read an article that said whites stole African wealth. We steal everything. We steal everything. We even stole stealing, man.
We made it cool.
We stole stealing.
You know, Satsu's the one who brought this up, and I hadn't even thought about it. You know, white people have stole everything from us. Well, that means everything white people did or do, they stole from you. Everything bad white people do, they had to have stole it.
Aha.
I'm pretty sure the Spanish were better at it. Yeah, slavery.
No one perfected continental levels of conquering like the Spanish, man. And the Portuguese. Let's not discount their effort.
They don't get enough credit.
The Portuguese, yeah, they get
Portuguese, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, they ran shit for a while, like brutal regimes. Well, regime isn't the right word, but brutal conquests. Yeah.
Do you ever stop and just think about how great it is to be born when you were?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
look, the technical advancements and all of that too. But not to have to be worried about the ethical question of slavery. I mean, our forefathers, that was actually something they argued about. We're arguing about fucking pronouns. These were people having a philosophical discussion over whether or not it was okay to own people. I'm glad I don't live in that time.
I'm glad I don't live in a time when the people who live over yonder might decide to get their spears and come after us one day.
That's true. That's true as well. You step on the wrong spot of land and suddenly your whole family gets wiped out.
You never know when the Romans are going to take one step further into Transalpine Gaul, and wipe out your whole civilization basically and sell all of you off into slavery.
Caesar gets bored.
Yeah. Caesar needs some more political points back home. One step further, why not?
Right.
Yet another reason the British should be very happy that their island is an island. Sure, the Romans eventually took it over, but be glad it wasn't Caesar who got there.
Real quick, RJ says, can we tell the leftists who work at YouTube to grow up? You can try. They don't listen. But Raman says, did you hear about Mexico sending a letter demanding that Spain apologize for the conquest of Central America due to the human rights abuses?
A little late.
It's very late. I was watching Styx this morning while I was playing video games. And I went through a bunch of his that I hadn't seen. And he was talking about immigration, illegal immigration, and Mexico. And it's something I'd never considered. I mean, Mexico should be a very, very wealthy country. They should be on par with us. They have coastline going down both sides of it. They're oil rich. They are fucking vegetation rich. There is no reason for them to be so poor. You can't blame the Spanish for what's going on in Mexico now.
And can't even really say poor. They've got billionaires coming out their butthole. Or out their culos, whatever.
But
I mean, they do. They have a fuck ton of billionaires. They've got huge businesses running down there, but they also have a fuck ton of systemic corruption.
Well, Styx was pointing out that, the problem with not sending illegal Mexicans back is that you are delaying the revolution they need to have.
I see.
And it's like, he's not wrong.
Well, people make that argument, and it's not without its political value, like political science value, that illegal immigration from Mexico and Honduras and Guatemala is a pressure valve to release pressure into the United States. Like it causes them to not have to fix things nearly as quickly as they do. Things would descend a lot faster were they not able to just get rid of people. Because when you have an abundance of people like Mexico City, holy fuck, talk about dense populations.
Time out. Did I say sticks?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant razor fist. My bad. Not sticks.
Ouch.
Razor fist.
Oh, that's cold, man.
Well, you mentioned sticks earlier, and that name was stuck in my head.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch sticks. I watch Razor Fist. I'm so sorry. Razor Fist, my apologies.
Razor Fist is my favorite stick sex in him.
No, but yeah, he was talking about it, and yeah, that's basically what he was saying. You know, it's anytime things start to get a little too tense, you'll suddenly see a huge push into the U.S.
Razor Fist was making that argument.
Yes, Razor Fist.
Cool. We're of a similar mind on that subject. That's good company to be in.
Because he's actually like gone down there and done work and stuff, and he's seen how poor parts of fucking. If you think guys, I know you hear all the time about how poor people are in the U.S. You have no fucking idea. You have no fucking idea. We have very few people eating dirt for a living. I mean, if you go like into the backwoods of the bayou, you might find some people who are close to the poorest people in Mexico. Close. And even Mexico's not the worst in the fucking world, but yeah, the poverty down there, there's no excuse for it. None.
Yeah.
They can vote for whoever they want. The problem with taking rights away is once it starts, it does not stop. Yeah, no, you never get rights back. That's why the end of prohibition is actually a very weird time in our country. And that's only because people wanted to get drunk. Would you be willing to donate ramen to Mexico? Yeah. Fortunately, they don't have pots to cook it in. A lot of them don't have water. Yeah, send the illegals home so they can. And you know what? Arm them with AKs. Get some from the Chinese. Send them down there so they can have their revolution. Because something needs to happen down there. Something needs to.
Or we can just get the ATF to give it to them like they did last time. Oh, wait a minute. That didn't happen.
That never happened. What are you talking about, Polly? Eric Holder told us he never did that when he investigated himself.
And more importantly, the president did not obstruct justice by rendering his conversations with Eric Holder about Operation Fast and Furious that we're referring to as top secret. That wasn't interfering with an investigation. Not at all. He wasn't protecting his, quote, right-hand man. Wingman, actually. Eric Holder said, I'm his wingman.
His wingman.
Yeah, it wasn't him stepping out to protect him. And like I said, Barack Obama was being factually correct when he said I had an entire presidency with no scandals. That's right, because basically the media determines what's going to be a scandal, and they said no.
No major scandals.
No major scandals.
No major scandals.
Yes, fair enough. And he wasn't wrong.
No, because scandals based on how much attention it gets. And
yeah, and when you've got a media that's willing to run interference for you, hey, things are great.
Oh, that was my neck. I don't know if you heard that.
A little bit.
Obama never obstructed. The fuck he didn't.
Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. The whole point is he did it without anyone saying boo, except for a bunch of, quote, right-wing nut jobs.
Fast and Furious was an illegal operation that ended up getting an American killed. Oh God, I don't know how much you guys know about Fast and Furious. It is a dirty. And look, Bush started it, but he's not. Republicans are not all clean in this. Bush started it, and then Obama. Partially to try to drum up support for gun control, help push it bigger. and then it was an ATF officer or DEA officer that got killed.
Border agent.
Border agent got killed with a gun that wasn't even supposed to exist anymore. That the federal government decided, you know what, we'll give these guns to the Mexican cartels to try to track them. Like, that don't even make sense. And then Obama let Eric Holder, who was part of it, investigate it. And amazingly, Holder found there was nothing wrong. And as Polly just pointed out, all of the conversations about it between Holder and Obama were deemed classified, so we can't hear about it.
And I believe that the president should be able to do that and have that authority to render conversations private and classified. Of course. Otherwise, how could the president confer with individuals they want to confer with about top secret matters? I get it. But was that not a illicit use of that authority? I don't know. There's no way to know. No one investigated it because no one raised a fucking shitstorm around it because it's Barack Obama and he doesn't do anything wrong.
Hold that thought. Jay Reynolds, thank you. Fast and Furious got someone killed? Well, yeah, it was Paul Walker.
Dun, dun, dun.
I agree with you with the private conversations part, right? Except, very much like a lawyer when they have attorney-client privilege.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Once you become part of the crime, you lose that ability. You're no longer an attorney. You're a co-conspirator. So when the president is helping to cover up a crime, he's a co-conspirator. That should not have been allowed to fly. If ever we needed a independent counsel, it was during Fast and Furious. For fuck's sake. Anyhow, and I'm not a fan of the independent counsel law. Actually, Congress dropped the ball on this. They should have investigated the fuck out of this. And they didn't, just like they didn't with the IRS thing. They held hearings here and there. That's all. Anyway. Oh, God. No major scandals in my administration. You fucknut. You fucking dick. You fucking dick. Let's see. What else do we have going on? 10 things to know. Barred to discuss redacted report before lawmakers get a copy. North Korea tested a new weapon. Yeah, they did that the other day. Yesterday, I think it was. But it's not like it's a ICBM or anything. They tested a weapon. They're still allowed to build those. Investigating Obama would have been racist. Absolutely. The people who asked questions were racist. All of them. Polly just went on a racist rant, and I joined him on a racist rant because we were questioning not only the almighty Obama, but Eric Holder. He's black too. Let's see what else. Francis. This is the Associated Press. 10 things to look at today. Anthony Vogel, thank you. Is brain drain from foreign countries into the U.S. a topic that is ever touched upon when talking about migrants in the U.S.? Not that I'm aware of.
I would say that it is. It depends on the context, though. If you're talking about criticizing GOP for wanting to stop immigrants coming, it's the poorest women and children, no men, women and children that are coming, and they're destitute and they're refugees. They're not immigrants. They're refugees from either war-torn areas or economic oppression or whatever the fuck, right? But then when you say, well, there are a bunch of refugees that don't have any skills. What are you talking about? Half these people are educated. They're doctors and lawyers. And
Yes.
So so brain drain does. It's like, well, wait a minute. What you're arguing now is called a brain drain. Well, brain drain, but these are homeless refugees, women and children. So fuck off. Fuck every one of you. Like, it depends on the context whether or not they're going to admit these are brilliant people with educations or they're dirt farmers who just need help. Like it.
A far more important. I know maybe that's one of the reasons that California decided to give them free education. I've never heard it as a major topic. Mostly just that they shouldn't be here. We took our jobs. No, I think the biggest problem right now is actually illness. Seriously, we're starting to have problems, and we're starting to have like we have that weird polio thing that didn't just spring up in the middle of fucking Wisconsin. This is there's shit being brought from down below the border because these people are not properly vaccinated to get into our country.
Oh, I see. These
What?
people, they're
These
diseased.
people, yes,
nice monkey, real nice.
they're diseased. They're bringing lice and herpes and crabs with them, and they need to stop it.
I'm just illustrating a point. You cannot win having this conversation. You can't.
I know.
There's people on Twitter. They're angry. Shut up.
I know.
Alyssa Milano will give you what for.
Yeah, but it depends. Are you going to drop them off in her neighborhood? Because then she doesn't want them. Then it's that's twisted.
She is not going to put up with you using poor refugees as a political tool. That's inhuman.
Yes, I know.
See what I mean?
I know.
You can't win, monkey.
Here's the thing. I never fight to win. I fight to point out that they're morons. Big boxes of herpes, man. Yeah, they're bringing just gigantic herpa AIDS with them. Why am I awake? Oh, monkey's on. How you doing, Six? Stop fucking the illegals and you won't get the herpes, monkey. No, man, they leave them on public toilet seats. That's why I don't sit on them. You'll get the toilet herpes.
That's how Dax got it.
Obviously. I mean, it's how I got pregnant.
Look.
I'm just seeing if you're still listening.
People don't know this. You can get all kinds of things from public toilet seats. That's why I poop at home. Just saying. You don't want the toilet babies. You don't want toilet-borne bastards. Those happen.
What?
Toilet-borne bastards. Sometimes women sit on a toilet seat and somebody had just masturbated on it and then they end up pregnant.
I have never heard that.
That is some old stream lore where I was in a mood one night and that came out.
Damn.
But no, they really do. They bring disease and
Hashtag home pooper.
Yes, absolutely. I can't be the only one. Type 1 in chat if you do everything you can to avoid sitting on a public toilet. I've had to do it like 3 times in my life, and it was the most horrifying experiences I've ever had.
They didn't have those toilet tissue paper deals?
That don't help. I do not think. Okay, if tissue on that worked, there would be toilet paper condoms. That's not going to stop. See, look at all those. Yeah, see, thank you. There's my home poopers. I love you. I poop at work and school. I don't work. I don't go to school. I poop at home. But I'm never home. Look, like I said, there's been a couple of times I've had to. Sometimes you can't help it. Evil One says I have germ phobia. I'm not a germaphobe. It's just you know what it honestly is? I don't like sitting on toilets I'm not usually sitting on. Like
because you can't play Candy Crush, huh?
Well, no, it's not that. I get used to a certain feel. We have 2 toilets in this house. I don't sit on the one upstairs because it's not the one downstairs. That's the one my butt is used to. That's where I poop. That's where I do my business, y'all. The downstairs toilet. Like y'all needed to know that. But no, I'm a very much creature of habit, and it extends honestly to if I have to sit on the toilets.
I saw a heated toilet seat the other day on Amazon, monkey. That might be of interest to you.
No, I don't want some.
Days.
You ever sit on the toilet after somebody just got up? It feels weird. It's all warm and shit. No.
Was it wet? Did they piss on it?
No.
Oh, well, that's good.
That just helps you slide onto the seat.
I usually sit after Lady Monkey. She doesn't piss on the seat.
I'm just trying to say, if I sat down on a toilet seat, it was warm. That's not good. If it's not a warmed toilet seat, of course, like electronically. But if I sat down and it was wet, that would be worse.
Wet would not be good. Wet would not be good. The toilet seat has been molded to Ranty Monkey's firm buttocks. No, it's just like the height and everything. Look. This is hard for me to talk about, and y'all are making fun of me.
Nothing's hard for you to talk about.
I know, right? When I was a kid, this was a problem when I was a kid because we moved so much being a Navy family. And every time we moved to a new house, the first couple of times on that toilet, it was like, something's wrong. Something's wrong here. Yeah, it takes me a while to get accustomed. You know what I saw, Polly, just completely by accident? You can get lights for your toilet.
Yeah, they're actually kind of cool.
Like what lights up?
The inside of the toilet.
And they have motion sensors. So like if in the middle of the night, you don't want to flip on that light to blind yourself.
Yeah.
You can just go sit down on your blue colored bowl.
Oh, you mean it's like clear and lights up inside?
Yeah, it lights up the inside of the toilet. So it's either blue, is it blue, orange, green, red, purple. I forget the other colors they had, yellow.
Well, they're LEDs. I'm sure they could be whatever.
Well, it only had like 8 colors, the ones I saw. My question is, isn't something going to splash on that?
Well, yeah, I don't even understand. Maybe it's all sealed and contained, but still.
Yeah, it hangs off the side of the toilet. I thought about getting it just to freak out Lady Monkey, not tell her.
Yeah.
But they say it's good for potty training. But apparently it burns through batteries, at least the one I saw. So I'd have to look at different ones. Sarah says we got one as a gag gift for Christmas. Yeah, a lot of the reviews, people said they got them as gag gifts, but they really loved them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about getting one just for the fun of it. To stop making super bacteria that are UV resistant. I don't know what that's in.
Don't ever install UV. Yeah, I see it.
Oh, why? What's wrong with UV lights in there? Will it give you like sunburn on your ass? Sunburn your balls from inside your toilet seat? Man, we go to some weird places on this show.
You go to some weird place.
Wait, I feel like you guys come along. You don't ever stop me.
Why would I want to stop something I love?
Jordan tweeted some more pictures. What?
Yes,
what
did
he tweet? What did he tweet?
Really?
Some butts for you guys today.
Oh, yeah, I can't show those.
Ooh, the good kind. Let's see.
Yeah, oh, man. I like that second chick because she looks like the kind you could tell anything and she'd just be like, I believe you.
Is this the game you're playing right now, Dex?
I'm playing a game?
I don't know. You just sent me a photo. I'm looking at it.
Oh, no. You remember we were talking about Peggy Carter and I had recreated her? Well, I recovered those files and that's her.
Oh.
What do you think?
Why is she in a... Well, okay.
Well, because I just downloaded the base file. I don't have the mods that clothed her before.
He doesn't have the mods that clothe her, chat.
I just reinstalled Fallout, okay? There's not much I could do. I'd have to get CBBE. I got to get all the clothes to go along with it. It just can take forever. So I sent you the base. Deal with it.
Ryan says, what if the lights malfunction and you get electrocuted while you pee? It's not that powerful.
Most batteries aren't. Anyway, you got to tell me your opinion. What do you think? Does she look like her or not?
Yeah, I'd buy it. I mean, you'd have to see her like close up, but like
Yeah, I'd have to remember the console command to reduce or to release the camera, and I forgot what that was. So that's what you got.
Link
thank you.
Link your Discord, Monkey. My link for my Discord is in the description. There was something. Oh, Brown Coat says, I have a red bulb in my fart fan so I don't get blinded, but my bathroom looks like a really odd strip club at 3 a.m.
Wow.
If you went to somebody's house and the only light they had in their bathroom was like red, wouldn't you think they were going to kill you?
No, I wouldn't. I would think I would be looking around like, where's the sauna button? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would have figured that it was. They were. You ever been in a sauna and it's only red light in there? I have.
I have only been in a sauna once in my life. I didn't like it, so I went to the hot tub instead.
Oh.
I don't understand the appeal of steaming yourself.
It's taking a schwitz.
I don't get it.
Oh,
It's
it's for your
uncomfortable.
health and longevity. People that take schwitzes live longer, you know.
It's those last couple of years. I'm okay. It's not like they take some years out of your 20s, 30s, or 40s when you do something bad. It's always off the end. So, hey, the end is the worst part, man.
I don't buy that. I want to be. My argument is like, I don't want to live longer. I want to live longer in a lively way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I'm with you on that. I want to be lively, but chances are you'll like be incontinent. You'll poop you'll have a shit bag. Your family will only show up on your birthdays hoping to get into magazines because of how old you are. What?
This is just really black-pilled, man. What the fuck?
I'm just telling you, man. Don't worry about them last years. They're gonna suck. Now, if they cure death, then I'm with you. I'll be like, okay, I would be the most health conscious person ever. Live hard, die young, and leave a beautiful corpse. No. I am very much with what's his name? The Here's Your Sign guy.
God, it was Bill something, isn't it?
Bill
Engvall.
Yeah, Bill Engvall. Yeah, when I die, I want them to look at my corpse and go, wow, the fuck happened to him?
Like Bill.
Who really wants to live forever? Look, if they cure death, I want to live forever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need forever.
A couple thousand years would be nice.
Yeah, 7-8 centuries even. I'd be okay with that.
Damn, I'm still looking at this blue-haired chick, and it's like, yeah, you give her candy, and she will do whatever you want. That's nice. Jordan with the awesome dirtiness. Jordan, you're awesome with the dirtiness. I want to just throw that out there. Because it's still dirty enough that I don't have to take it, or clean enough I don't have to take it off my page. Because somebody sent me a picture the other day, and I actually had to mute them for a while because I did not want to see that picture on my fucking timeline. I didn't want to mute them or unfollow them forever. But I did not want to see it. It was fucking gross.
Is Jordan no longer including me in these? I don't see them.
You didn't get go to the hashtag. I think that's where he's sending them.
Okay.
Yeah, that one was just sent to the hashtag.
Okay, let's take a look.
I mean, they're all quite nice, except for the last one. I mean, it's the ass is in focus, but you can't really see her because it's one of those shots where it gets blurry as it moves away. As long as the last 100 years is attractive women feeding me on demand, I'm good. Nah, man,
Goddamn Malcolm in the Middle.
What?
What?
What the hell are you talking about?
I went to hashtag Monkey in the Morning, and it's also hashtag Malcolm in the Middle.
No, it's MITAM.
You got the A at the end there.
Oh, I did drop off the A there. Shit.
Yeah, we had to put the A in there because of Malcolm in the Middle.
Well, I was reaching and typing with my left hand, and I'm right-handed, so shit. Oh, holy shit, look at the asses.
Right.
Silly.
Oh, man. I'm here for a long time, not for a good time. I'm here for a good time, man. I'm all about the good time. Yeah, if they told me, look, if you ate nothing but rice cakes for the rest of your life, you'd live forever, I'd be like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Give me my ramen. 800 ISIS jihadis returned to the UK. 400 of them in London. Instead of monitoring their actions, this is the London's police under Sadiq Khan, and they're just dancing in the streets. Okay. Well,
Mr. Dax just asked, did you just send butts to Malcolm in the Middle? No, I didn't, but we all should.
Get to them.
We should all hashtag MITM on that picture. I'm going to do that right now.
See, I don't understand this. You're willing to push aside them poor One Direction folk, but you're not willing to take a stab at some really bad sitcom from when I was a child.
But Bryan Cranston though.
Bryan Cranston was in it.
When we
Isn't he the dad?
Okay.
Oh, maybe. I never watched that show.
One Direction, they just became the target of my ire after we spent quite a while trying to find one that wasn't being used. The purpose wasn't to take one over. It was to find one that wasn't being used. And then MIT AM came up and like, oh, fuck it. Only One Direction. We can take that. I think Scribe slipped a gear last night on Lords of the Night. We had Drunkle on the last like 45 minutes. It was actually pretty good. We were past any major format thing. It's that first hour where format, if it gets too fucked up, will make Scribe start to eat his own skin. But after that, I mean, we get into fucketry time, and if fucketry gets a little off kilter, I mean, it's fucketry. Who cares? And then chat. I mean, we do our best to answer you anyway, but you should know by now.
You know how many people in chat are assuming because I leaned and typed with my left hand and I'm right-handed and I must be whacking it with my right hand?
I assume that myself, but I didn't want to say it out loud because I didn't want to embarrass you if you are.
Jesus, man, y'all are dirty. No, I fucking had a can of soda in my hand, for God's sake.
Pervert.
I
don't type with my I type with my left hand when we're doing this anyway because my right hand's constantly on my mouse.
No, I just had a can of ginger ale, so
that's how you know I'm actually typing something important, because that's when I stop and I tell you, hang on guys, I gotta type something. That's when I take my hand off my mouse.
His mouse, he says.
Yeah, I'm a 2-finger typer, and laugh if you want to. I can do 70 words a minute that way, bitch. But yeah, so if I'm typing something really serious, I need both hands. Does Polly have any dad jokes? I don't
know. Just my dad's jokes, which are absolutely dad jokes. See, people are dirty. It's like Polly's hung like a soda can. Confirmed. You heard it here, folks. Polly's hung like a monster. Jesus Christ.
At least they gave you a monster, not like, the 8-ounce can.
That's true. Well, still 8-ounce can. That's girthy.
A lot of girth, but not much depth. He ripped me, but he didn't get in very far. Oh, we haven't hit the hashtag. Let's see, latest. Do we have anything over in the hashtag? Let's check this out. We got the ladies.
Yeah,
and
see,
the ladies.
Zelthor remembers the VU meter joke. That was just...
somebody asked us earlier, and I don't have the story here, but yeah, we can talk about that real quick. Did you guys see Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez trying to give reasons to impeach the president?
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez gave reasons she wanted to impeach the president?
Yeah, somebody asked her. She was on some radio. Was she on a radio show, a TV show? I can't remember.
Oh shit! No, I didn't hear anything about this.
Well, she blanked. She's like, and I forget the one she came up with. Yeah, but she just made an. Let's see. Let's pull that story up, shall we? See, I'm gonna need both hands for this. Cortez.
And now people are making jokes about the soda can spraying and don't get it everywhere.
And only shake it once, because if you shake it more than that, you're playing with it.
Right. Oh my God.
See, that's the video. I don't want the actual video. Here we go. That's from Real Clear Politics. Ocasio-Cortez, so many reasons to impeach Trump. Number one is emoluments.
Is that how she said it?
Am I saying it wrong?
Emoluments. Yeah.
Emoluments. Okay.
That's fine.
No,
okay.
that's me. That's me reading.
All right.
Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said there are so many reasons to impeach the president. In an interview with Yahoo News podcast Skullduggery on Sunday evening, I think you could impeach a bag or reach in a bag and pull out so many things that are impeachable of this president. I support impeaching this president.
They should have impeached Hillary Clinton. Impeach the bag. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Let's see. This is a wait. Isaacoff was part of this. Wow, I haven't heard his name in a long time. Michael Isaacoff used to be a big name writer for Newsweek. Isikoff might be how you actually say it. This relates to the president who was reported this week. Told the head of Customs Border Protection that he would pardon him if he faced jail time for denying entry to immigrants. Chairman Nadler of the House Judiciary said today that this showed the president's contempt for the law and that it was for the president to suggest that goal by deliberately seeking to break the law is unforgivable. I assume you agree with him. The question is, what should be the consequence? Representative Cortez. I mean, I think this is largely a question for our leadership. I think this is a very grave problem, but there are so many aspects to this presidency that pose a grave question. She's a deep thinker.
Jesus, that was bad. That was a I need time to think answer.
Well, here we go. Isaac, what would be your top 3 if you were drafting articles of impeachment? Because he asked her, what would you introduce as articles of impeachment? She said, there's so many things. Go, what's your top 3? Top 3, I think number 1 is emoluments. I think it's always been emoluments. It's always been about that for me. Remind me, I looked that up the other day.
Financial and other inducements and so forth, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, but how does it specifically refer to, because I looked it up and she's out of her goddamn mind.
But that was a word that she knows, and she knows political things.
Yeah. The clause, that's what it is. There we go.
The emoluments clause of the, yeah.
Right. There we go. Yeah, guys, what that is it keeps the president or keeps federal office holders from receiving gifts. That's what it is. Gifts, money, anything of value. Mm-hmm. You can't point out anywhere he's done that, you silly bitch.
Well, building Trump Tower, and like I said, it's financial inducements and otherwise, like wealth that will come at a certain point, or investments that will only vest at a certain point after you've left office. So it might not be direct, but it still counts as an inducement, financial or otherwise, to do something. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
But there's no point where they can point that he's done that.
Well,
is what I'm saying.
All that stuff that went on in Ukraine, am I right? Trump.
I will punch you in your 8-ounce Coke can dick. Jesus. Sinatra says, I made a video about this. It'll be out on the 26th. You want to come hang for a little bit, dude? We maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. But Isikoff goes on 2 and 3. She says 2 and 3. I think 2 would be tax fraud.
Wait, you don't even know that he did anything. Like, you have literally no evidence he even did anything. He was
none.
Tax fraud number 2.
She's never seen his taxes.
No one has, outside of his attorneys and those at the IRS. But I mean, Jesus.
And if she has, that is highly illegal.
That's pretty funny. I didn't think you were going to say anything that would make me outright laugh. I thought it would just been, wait. Cortez.
Hang on.
Okay.
This is that answer. 2 and 3. I think 2 would be tax fraud. And number 3, number 3. Isaacoff, interesting that you don't mention Russia. Cortez, no, I don't. Because I think that for a lot of aspects of the Russia investigation, as we saw with the Mueller report, I think there are a lot of parts of the Russia issue that come down to emoluments, however you say that. Pay for play, financial transactions, Trump Tower. It comes down to money. And if we'd gotten something from the Mueller report, I would probably put that up there as number 1. But I feel like it's a little risky to put all your eggs in that basket. And I think a lot of this stuff happens through backdoor bank accounts and stuff like that. So emoluments kind of includes any financial misconduct in relation to Russia.
And she would know about backdoor financial deals.
Oh, yes, she would.
Yeah.
But sweetheart, you haven't seen the report. You have nothing. Somebody told you a word and you're like, I'm going with that.
Yeah. Any word that someone's going to have to go look up makes it look like I'm smart. Smart.
Now,
rather.
Hang on. Here comes the best part of this. And I'm glad they saved it for last because I wanted to save this for last anyway. Specifically on tax fraud. What do you have in mind? Is there something specific like deflating assets or the insurance issue? Those issues you brought up when you were questioning Michael Cohen. You ready for this? Yeah, I agree. I think it comes to that. There's just so much. Like the census. I can't even, the tax bill. Like, there's just so much. She wants to,
The census, the tax bill, there's just so much.
she wants to impeach the president over the census and the tax bill.
The census, I'm assuming for, what question was removed? I forget.
They're not sending it to illegals.
They're not sending it to illegals. Okay.
Illegals can't fill out the census.
And he's racist, therefore impeachable.
She doesn't expound on it. It just the census.
Jesus, no wonder I didn't hear anything about this news story. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, Washington Post, New York Times. They're not going to report on that. Where she sounded like a moron.
And the tax bill, the fucking tax bill. It was passed by Congress and he signed it, you silly bitch. You can't impeach him for that.
But if he colluded with his billionaire friends to get them tax...
Fuck off. Oh my God, this woman. Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't cover that the other day. Yeah, we got onto something else. That might have been the day that we got into the Marty McFly arguments. Oops. But yeah, no, we didn't cover that. And yeah, not a good look for her.
No kidding.
She wants to impeach the president over a tax bill. And for tax fraud that she doesn't know he's done.
That is seriously rough. That is a rough series of statements on her part. Jesus.
Oh, RBA says Trump wanted to ask if you're illegal on the census. I thought he wanted to not count. Maybe that's what it is. He doesn't want it to count if they're illegal. They just throw that one in the trash. I forget. I know there was something about not counting it of some it being of no consequence. The illegals answers whatever. Okay, on to MITAM. Fucking tax fraud. Bitch, you haven't seen his tax report. Let's see. Brie Larson. Oh, that's a thing I wonder if you guys are going to cover, Polly. Did you see Brie Larson and Chris Hemsworth, where Chris was joking with her about how she did her own stunts because she wants to be the next Tom Cruise?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "No, I want to be the first me."
Oh my God, shut the fuck up.
No, she did say that, and they went on, and we discussed it over on Comic Book Curation, which we did early last night. You can check it out over on my channel right there. But you were saying, Monkey.
I didn't see after she said that, but I saw there was a whole bunch of feminist bullshit online. Look at her clap back at him.
Yeah.
If they were just joking around, cool. That's just them joking around. If that was her honest answer, then she's kind of a cunt. And I don't think in either way it deserves the attention it's getting right now.
I loved Entertainment Tonight, a blue check mark, by the way, because of course they are. Tweeted out. They were, doing their bants back and forth, Chris Hemsworth and Brie Larson, and it's like, I'm the strongest. No, I'm the strongest. Like their characters, And Entertainment Tonight tweeted out, Brie Larson explaining to Chris Hemsworth how she's the strongest is the only thing we ever wanted to see, to be honest. And it's like, we? You mean you? Who's we? And that's what I bitched about on Comic Book Creation. It's just like, stop with the fucking, if you want to say you, then say you. Like it's we, us, those of us in the audience, the lovers of comic book. Fuck you. You got here 5 minutes ago.
Let's see.
You don't give a damn about any of these things. Like and that's what I mean. It's like, well, in the comic book world, because yes, women, am I right? Slay queen. Like it's fuck. The shillery that these people are willing to resort to of just like, what does that even mean? It's all you ever wanted. You didn't want the movie to be good. You just wanted her to.
They want her to be the strongest ever.
I'm having a hard time understanding what the hell they even meant by that. But it got into this whole back and forth thing. And, you know, at the end of the day, like literally at the end of that day where it was going back and forth, and then Entertainment Tonight tweeted out some more things of it, more clips from this. And it was an interview with them, like on their press junket. Chris Hemsworth, Brie Larson, and oh my God, are you ever looking old these days? Guy, what's his name? He plays Rhodey.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's so known. Cheadle, whatever.
Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle. Yeah. God, am I the only one who's noticed how fucking old that guy's looking in the last 3 years?
He looked old in Infinity War. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. It was just like you went from like mid 30s to 60. It was weird.
That happens with black men.
Wait a minute, I thought black didn't crack. You keep repeating that.
Black doesn't crack until it gets to like 50, and then they're not as bad as Asian women who look 19 until they look 100. But yeah, they do. Yeah, they. But Don, he'll look that way for like the next 30 years. They go in stages. It's just true.
So in any case, they send out an additional clip of that interview where they're doing their press junket thing, talking about it, and they're doing their bants back and forth. Cheadle's just kind of like sitting there while these two are having their little "aren't we funny" moment, and all of this thing erupts between that you were talking about, where these people got involved from the outside and said, "Yeah, Queen, you do your thing. It's all we ever wanted." And some feminists got on board, and hundreds of likes, and then Chris Hemsworth weighs in at the end of the day and says, "I'm having such a blast on the press tour for Endgame. I even got some roller coastering in today." And that's it. If you scroll through that man's Twitter, it's nothing but, "The fans are awesome. Holy shit, I got to surf today. I went on a roller coaster. Fuck, I'm loving life." Like, that's it. That's all. And that's probably a sign of his white male privilege.
It is.
You know, not that he's not a bitter prick or anything, you know.
P-Dog, who is black, asked, "What the fuck are you talking about, monkey?" You know what I'm talking about. Don't act like black men don't suddenly just like they wake up one day and they're like 30 years older. Come on. It might not happen to you yet, but it will.
Ebony says, "I tend to say that black doesn't crack if you have money." Yeah, there's lots of people. That's a fair assertion. There's lots of people that look good because they've got the money for the skin treatments. But I will tell you something. I'll tell you a secret about black folks. So listen up. They moisturize.
Yeah, they have to.
Well, who wants to look ashy?
Ashy, yeah.
Right? So they moisturize.
Ashy, okay.
So it's like white folks, you don't want to look like all cracked up and ugly before your time. 1, don't smoke. 2, moisturize. There. Is that so hard?
Motherfucker, I'm pretty. I smoke every day. For you white people out there, ashy, especially around like the elbows is where they get it real bad. Black people, their skin will actually look like it's been dipped in ash because they get so dry, and they have to put the moisturizer on there so you don't see that. And that's why they are so pretty. They have that nice skin.
Wait, I mean, you hear women say that, right? It's like moisturize early and often. Like, and it's like, yeah, that's why guys develop like crow's feet and whatever the fuck earlier than women, because guys are like, "Oh, fuck it, my face turns to a leather mitt. I don't care."
We don't care. Women like us that way. They're like, he look rough. I want that.
Yeah, and Pop-Tart's saying it. See, it's like we've all gone through this. Everyone oil up. Dry skin is bad. It's true. It is. Don't smoke. Moisturize. You won't have those problems.
Doug Dog says, "Looks like they leaned against a blackboard." Yeah, something like that.
Why does the board gotta be black?
Because whiteboards don't have the same thing. You just come up with marker.
I tried writing on a whiteboard with chalk. It didn't work.
I always had green chalkboards. I think only like 2 schools I had black chalkboards.
Isn't the same thing with Asian women? They look young for the first 40 to 50 years, and then it's 110. Yo, mama, yo, mummy. No, I didn't say it's exactly the same. It's just it's an analogy. They both see white people. We slowly age, and other groups they have stages. And I'm not sure which is better. I really am not. Is it better to slowly just look older? What's up?
Said hi to Kitten.
Hi, kitten.
Hello.
It's a good time to remind y'all. We shill ourselves. We're whores, so if you want to throw money at us, you can do that.
That we are.
That was the worst shill I've done ever.
Yeah, but
We're
you know what?
whores.
It works out for you and me because we have Streamlabs where Polly does not.
That's true, but you can go support Polly's channel at the link he gave you a little while ago.
Or the one that I just popped in there. But I'm working on it. Streamlabs is coming, as well as merch. There's also merch coming.
Oh my god.
Shit, I need to make some merch. I talked about that yesterday and completely forgot what I was going to make.
You should see some of the merch I'm prepping. It looks great. Farzusmi, she's an artist, and you know there's going to be an Angry Otter series we're talking about. We're thinking about doing. Should be fun.
Evil One says, "Oh, sorry guys. My girlfriend is half Spanish and half Native American. She's looked the same since I've known her 16 years. Yeah, but you got to shave her a lot, right? Spanish women are hairy, right? Like Italians."
Okay.
If the worst thing you have to deal with is that you're hairy, yeah,
that's not a bad thing. I mean,
that's a good problem to have. If that's your problem, you're pretty good. I mean, you're not fat. Like, if you know what I mean. It's a lot more work to lose weight than it is to lose hair, is what I'm saying.
Evil One says Native Americans have no hair. So does it like offset each other? She's got like hair on half of her forearm, but not the other half. Anyhow, this that last story about the Entertainment Tonight thing with Brie Larson and Chris Hemsworth, that was from Nitra Martin. Nitra Martin, thank you for the story. And this one is from Massive Dynamics. We need to get ready for Gamergate politicians. Carl Sargon-of-Akkad Benjamin, one of the original voices of Gamergate, is running for a seat in the European Parliament. He's not a fringe voice. He's becoming the mainstream.
Good.
Evil One says she has hairy knuckles. She's going to hate you for telling us that.
Where is this article from again, Monkey? I'm sorry.
I'm not sure where this is from. This is it's in the Internet Archive thing, Archive Today.
Right.
Waypoint, I think is what it's from.
Waypoint.
Yeah, that's what it says. Waypoint. Yeah,
that's a Vice subsidiary, isn't it?
Probably.
And subsidiary is a pretty, illustrious term for
This is at the top of the story. Content warning. This piece includes racist language and references to rape threats.
So basically, Sargon's white Ruger's comment, and then the I wouldn't even rape you.
Probably. Doesn't that sound like the warning you'd see at the beginning of a Law and Order episode?
Dung dung.
Did they do trigger warnings at the beginning of Law and Order?
Yeah, sometimes.
Way back in the day, on the before they had SVU and they had to do the rape ones on screen. Yeah.
Huh.
One of the most prominent anti-feminist voices during Gamergate is turned towards politics, having been named a candidate for the European Parliament representing UKIP, a political party with a bent towards xenophobia, racism, and anti-immigration. Do you really need... I feel like xenophobia and anti-immigration are a little redundant, but okay. Mm-hmm. It helped push the UK towards its infamous Brexit vote in 2016, which the country continues to wrestle with and is yet to find a real path forward on. Well, that's because they're being pussies about it. They're being big, giant pussies about it. Anyway, you can't blame that on Carl. Come on. Anyone paying attention during Gamergate probably remembers Carl Sargon-of-Akkad Benjamin. He was one of the many... Jesus Christ. He was one of the many far-right grifters who rose rose to prominence in that. And now you know why I had to stop and catch myself before I...
He's a grifter, a far-right grifter.
Far-right grifter who rose to prominence in that era when the online hate group went around claiming it was for ethics in game journalism, but largely spent its time harassing women online.
Sure.
In the years since, Benjamin has turned... You know what? They're gonna piss me off. In the years since, Benjamin has turned his moment in the sun into a profitable endeavor with nearly 1 million subscribers on YouTube and more than 3,000 people sending him nearly $12,000 a month on Patreon.
Ouch.
Are you okay?
Yeah, just so many. It's all good.
Oh, okay. Before he was banned. What? Being big pussies, look who the prime minister is. Yeah, look, I understand. I do. She was against Brexit anyway. Why the fuck would you make her prime minister for that? Anyhow. Benjamin was also banned from Twitter and quickly fled to Gab, a popular haven for far-right figures chased off social media platforms that, once in a blue moon, show a measure of consequence for the extreme and frequently consequential rhetoric of its users. On Gab, you can be as racist as you want to be, baby. To date, however, Benjamin's still very popular on YouTube, which is where he made his announcement. His grifting is now poised to become something darker and more influential.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm reading a lot of this because this is fascinating to me. Quote, I'm part of a class who have emerged from the living rooms to get involved in a way that the world is run because we're not very happy with the job that's been done so far, he said, riffing on his usual topics, opposing political correctness, decrying immigration, and pushing the UK to leave the European Union. Quote, my online presence has always been a place for levity in addition to serious commentary, and that won't change, and neither will I apologize for it. Political correctness is for other people. I'm here to tell the truth. Well, good for you. I hope you stick with that. It's weird how, quote, the truth often involves bashing women and minorities. Strange. Can we dissect that for a second? If a woman lies, are we just supposed to go, it's okay, it's a woman?
Yes.
Oh,
No, obviously not. But I mean, again, looking for like equal treatment of an issue with somebody that they don't like. I mean, again, does it make sense to pretend that this person has principles that they're operating off of, or are they just picking names that they can call this guy? You know.
Anyway, like the time Benjamin theorized without proof, the academic group DIGRA, Digital Games Research Association, was, quote, co-opted by feminists to become a think tank by which gender ideologies can disseminate their ideology to the gaming press and ultimately to gamers. One of the many extremely long videos he dedicated to the subject. His endless ramblings that just coincidentally focus on women critical of video games. Here, and she drops some links. Or how about when Benjamin, who was in the middle of a live stream, announced to the people in the chat room, I can't be bothered to deal with people who treat me like this. You're acting like a bunch of, just so you know, you act like white N-words. Yeah.
The people in the chat room are those alt-right white nationalists that you were accusing Benjamin of running to on Gab, by the way. But no, that's it. Fuck.
Look,
it's just people. They were just people.
He handled that way wrong. He should have just shut the fucking chat off.
That or left. Yeah, shut his own chat off so you wouldn't see it. I agree completely. Yeah. He handled it bad. He got flustered. Yeah.
This is the same guy who sent interracial gay porn to alt-righters to fuck with them.
Still makes me laugh.
That's funny as shit. By the way, which YouTube or Twitter says is not against the rules. So good on Sargon for that. Apparently it's okay to post porn. I have no problem with that. But how can you accuse him of never mind. You can because you're assholes. Benjamin is not an edgelord merely trolling for internet clicks. Unlike other far-right personalities like the now deplatformed Milo Yiannopoulos, who's largely disappeared from influence and relevance because his shtick was repeatedly and successfully poking platforms and people to see if they'd snap back. That is absolutely wrong. That has nothing to do with why he fell from relevance, you lying bitch. It was the scandal with with him having sex when he was a teenager.
Which, in my opinion, never would have happened, and Media Matters and others of their like would not have gotten involved to dig up those interviews that were publicly available for over a year and a half if you hadn't been invited to be a speaker at the GOP convention.
Oh, they were waiting to drop it. They really were.
But when this guy gets invited to something that mainstream, then it happens right then. It's like, oh yeah, like they had opposition research prepared, no question. It's like, we're going to look into this guy, and yeah, but like what was the timing of it about? And how is it that everybody seemed to publish articles on this guy at the exact same time? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge Milo fan. I'm not trying to defend him. I just think it's pretty clear what ended up happening to him.
I love Milo. He got railroaded.
Sure he did. Yeah.
They had been wanting to take him out for a long time, and they waited. They waited right before his book was coming out, right before was going to CPAC.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're like, boom. And suddenly
that's right. It was CPAC, not the GOP convention. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, unlike Milo, Benjamin has straddled a blurry line of authority that's given him a chance to cash in cultural power from the internet to a potential seat in power or in parliament. It's an enormous step forward that would give Benjamin and those like him opportunities to transfer rhetoric into action. In the days since the news broke, his past, full of purposefully provocative statements to embolden his audience and provoke outsiders, has caught up with him. Take, for example, a 2016 tweet from Benjamin where he said, "I wouldn't even rape you," hashtag anti-rape threats, hashtag feminism is cancer, to a UK politician, Jess Phillips. What? Okay, this goes on quite a bit longer, but yeah, they're smearing the fuck out of this guy.
Yeah.
Look, my issues with Sargon, with things he's done, they're pretty well known on this channel. This is completely insane. I mean, this is a level of hate that you usually reserve for a dictator who's killed millions of people. I mean, they're going to take him out. How dare he? They're still pushing the idea that saying "I wouldn't rape you" is a rape threat. I mean,
the logic is killer.
That makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah, but that presented in that way, if you don't watch the video where he decided to do that, you know, it's not just a question of like, oh, it was straight out of context. No, like the "I wouldn't even" was so insane that he had said that. It would be like not referencing, like, no, here's this article, Jess Phillips, you know, "I wouldn't even," like, you know, that was the whole point. It's like, okay, well, how about I say this? Because I'm not saying that I'm going to do it. I'm saying I'm not going to do it. That shouldn't bother you because you claimed here that it didn't bother you in this other context. Somebody saying they're not going to do something is fine. And it's like, okay. I mean, it would be like Ilhan Omar talking about the New York Post. And it's like, they did that out of nowhere. Somebody did something and they aimed it at me. It was out of nowhere. And it's like, no, it was in direct response to something you did. You said. I mean, it taken away the context of her having spoken previously. It looks like the New York Post is just out to fuck with her in a really harsh way, but they're not. They're making a point based upon your statements. That's what Sargon was doing. Anyway.
Real quick, Hayden White says, "You know what's amazing? At no point did they actually talk about what he's running on, or even against those, or even argue against those points." Yeah, nothing about that. Just, you know what he said before.
No, but none of the articles, the smear pieces that have been coming out at him do. And that's the whole point. They don't talk, it's like, it's about Brexit the whole way. Why isn't he running for being a member of parliament for his local electoral district, if he just wants to promote anti-feminism? If they talk about he's an anti-feminist, he's an alt-righter, he blah, 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 like all these various things, and then say, and he's running for a governmental position, then it creates the natural assumption that he's looking to promote those things.
Well, here's the thing. I don't, let's say you've never heard of Sargon, right? And you see that he told a woman, "I wouldn't even rape you." One, I don't understand how people couldn't say, I think he's being funny there, whether you find it funny or not. But two, how you can take anybody seriously who's telling you that that's a rape threat. I don't understand how those two things come together. If I knew nothing about Sargon and all I knew about him was that he tweeted to somebody, "I wouldn't even rape you," I would think, maybe he was being mean to her, saying she's ugly. but I wouldn't think it was a rape threat because I'm not a fucking moron. It's literally the opposite. It's literally saying you're so ugly, I wouldn't fuck you. Anyway, I want to read one more thing before we mosey on about our day. Because I saw this one and it's actually Nancy Pelosi declares a new era of internet regulation. EU threatens the same. This one comes to us from Massive Dynamic. We've all been watching this develop for years now. The internet is being slow choked, not by rapacious ISPs forcing users to pay. Did I say that word right?
Rapacious.
Rapacious. Thank you. ISPs forcing users to pay for fast lanes, but by politicians on both sides of the Atlantic who want to have a bigger role in what we're allowed to do and say online. To be sure, lawmakers are being greatly aided in their efforts by major tech players such as Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and Apple's Tim Cook, who are explicitly calling for regulation to maintain current market position in a sector defined by creative destruction. Then it says, all hail MySpace and BlackBerry. In an interview with Recode's Kara Swisher, Speaker Nancy Pelosi pronounced that in the tech sector, the era of self-regulation is over when it comes to privacy and speech rules. Sounding a lot like conservative Republicans such as Senator Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley of Missouri, she zeroes in especially on Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act as the thing that needs to be torched. For those of you who don't know, the Section 230, that's what allows Facebook and Twitter and YouTube not to get in trouble for the things you say on there. They are not held responsible for what users post. And yeah, Nancy Pelosi wants to change that. Quote, for the privilege of 230, Pelosi warns, there has to be a bigger sense of responsibility on it, and it is not out of the question that that could be removed. That's fucked up, y'all.
It really is.
You guys have no idea what that would do to online just talk. I mean, yeah, I don't like that at all. I know there's a lot of people, and I've thought about the idea that maybe that's what we need of getting the government involved, but no, what we really need is for them to fuck off. I have no problem with them coming in and going, okay, you can't censor one side and not the other. But the answer to that should be don't censor anyone, not censor them both. Welcome to the nanny state of the internet. Yeah, you're not wrong. Zuckerberg asking for government regulation is a ploy to secure his company's own position. Yeah, it is. There's talk that he wants it done so that I actually saw somebody making this point that way he'll know what the rules are. No, it's not that. It's so that competitors have a harder time getting involved and growing big. He doesn't want to be the next MySpace.
Right.
I mean, Facebook is largely responsible for destroying MySpace. Well, MySpace had a big hand in it too, but I mean, that's where everybody migrated to. Well, it's where the older people migrated to. The people who don't want to argue as much like those of us on Twitter do. Because Twitter's for arguing. Yeah, Nancy, go fuck yourself. How about you regulate what the fuck your members are saying? How about that? How about I saw a story yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, yesterday, where apparently Nancy Pelosi didn't even know what Ilhan Omar said when she came out and blasted Trump for his tweet about her.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't even know that Omar had used the "some people did something" line. Like, beautiful, you dumb bitch. But you went right on. You did exactly what you're supposed to do. Attack the president because he's on the other team. Instead of going, ooh, come here. We need to talk. What you said was insensitive, you stupid bitch. The thought police will be shot on sight in America. Unfortunately, Kevin, they're coming more and more, man. I saw another quote I liked, and I'm going to be paraphrasing it here, but said the Constitution's protections only matter to those who know why they exist in the first place. And it's true. I mean, you see so many people like we can't hurt each other's feelings with words because free speech doesn't matter to them because they never lived under a society where they didn't have the right to say whatever they wanted. And when you grow up pampered like that, it can be very easy to be like, well, that hurt my feelings. And I think stopping them from hurting my feelings is more important than them being allowed to hurt my feelings. We're raising a generation of pussies. Bunch of goddamn pussies.
No, I really don't think that people are that big of pussies. I think that the media promotes pussification because there's a bunch of pussies who are writing the stories. That's my best guess.
You know what? You can say that, and I don't disagree with you that they're pushing it, but who's ingesting it? The goddamn pussies. It's not like you got these strong men out there who read this like, that does hurt my feelings. Maybe we should stop speech. No, it's a bunch of goddamn pussies going, yeah, I remember when I was bullied. We can get rid of that. We should stop people from having to hear words. Goddamn, we're still 2.5 hours or an hour and a half before everything blows up today.
Yeah, I'll weigh in. No matter what's in there, it's going to be nitpicking of, well, Donald Trump said that he didn't, and here's clearly indicated, and so this president doesn't really.
Yeah. I can't wait. Here's the thing, though. Congress isn't in session right now. And I read a story earlier. I think it was while we were on Lords of the Night. The story came across my desk, and I just scammed through it. Scammed. I scammed through the story.
Okay.
I feel like the writer didn't scam us enough. No, it was basically talking about that the political parties, they're telling their congressional members, don't pay much attention to this. I mean, you can weigh in on it if you want, but what we really want you to do is stay out in your district, talking to your people about what we think is important. And then when we come back, we'll all talk about it. Let the talking heads do everything, maybe go on a show. That's fine. But don't rush back to Washington to have, hearings and everything. Just calm down, let it happen. Shh, just let it happen. Which is cool. That's actually the right way to handle it. But the media is going to lose their fucking mind. And of course, we're going to have to. Who do you think's going to comment first? Let's take bets. Let's use Ilhan Omar, Ocasio-Cortez, or whatever the fuck her name is, Tlaib. She doesn't even get a guess because she's not going to be. She's the retarded fat chick who comes along with the two cool ones. So AOC or Ilhan Omar, which one do you think is going to comment about it first?
Burrow bitch.
Got one for Ocasio-Cortez. Polly?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cortez. It's in terms of like commenting first. It's the media will ask her first. Yeah, and therefore a comment will follow. Definitely.
I'm going with Cortez too because one, Omar, she's not a leader, and Cortez at least thinks she is. So she's gonna think she has to put out something immediately. RVA says Chuck and Nancy. Of course they will. I bet AOC beats them though. AOC, they're like words, and they're like the long, difficult words. Mr. Tax, that's not nice, but it's probably true. This is a bitch who thinks she can impeach the president for tax fraud when she's never seen his taxes, and for signing a bill. I swear to God, somebody needs. I've done it. I've sent her how a bill becomes a law, but somebody needs to force her to sit down and watch it because she doesn't know. She still doesn't know. is a sitting member of fucking Congress who has no idea how our laws are passed. So yeah, guys, at it's 9:30 Eastern time, I believe, is when it's supposed to happen. That's still the time, right? I'm not telling people wrong. William Barr. Yes. Press conference. Yeah, what time is that today? I want to say it's 9:30. Sorry, I got to read through an article to figure this out. Yeah, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. So in just over an hour and a half, he'll be here to tell us what happened. Give us the skinny. It is weird that he's holding a press conference when they're only releasing this to Congress. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it is kind of weird because it doesn't matter. Duck Dog, thank you. Google Pay licks my sweaty taint. Well, remember, there's always PayPal. You didn't see me, but I was smiling at you. It's one of the reasons I need a camera, so people can see when I do weird shit or silly shit like that. Like when I wave to you when we say goodbye, which I do every time I sign off. Anyhow, so yeah, guys, that'll be coming, and then all hell will break loose all over Twitter, and it'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you pay attention to that. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight, today, this morning, whatever it is, wherever you are, whatever it is. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us, spending your time with us when you could have been watching porn. Doesn't Monkey have a webcam? I do, but I don't have internet that will allow me to use it. But yeah, thank you for the donations. I cannot tell you how much your generosity is appreciated. And Polly, anything you'd like to shill today?
Yeah, we just did a comic book curation stream last night over on my channel, and I'll pop the link in chat here. It was a good time. We talked about all sorts of things, including the Chris Hemsworth story and stuff, Jack Inquisitor and myself. God, what else do we cover? Oh, man, Mark Wade and the big lawsuit he's involved with Richard C. Meyer for trying to cancel his comic book out of publication, and successfully did so, and he's getting his ass sued. Man. The initial filings from that court case have been coming out, and we read some of them off, including some of the text messages he sent back and forth, and it's a good laugh. Cool. And then we cover new comics that are coming out and all sorts of other things. So by all means, check it out, see what you think. If you like, subscribe.
All right, and Dax, anything you want to pimp out?
Not today.
All right, tonight we will be on Satsu 2 cents for Lords of the Night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. No game channel or no game stream tonight. We'll be back with that tomorrow night. Depending on how this news conference goes, I may or may not start up a quick live stream afterwards. So keep an eye out for that. I'm probably going to. I'll probably do it anyway. So I might see y'all in like 2 hours. But if not, everyone, Polly, Dax, thank you guys for joining me. Audience, thanks for coming and hanging out. You guys complete me. Everybody, we will see you next time. Have a great day.
Later, guys.
Have a good day, everyone.